Peace and power to peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. My name is Brother Legend. What's going on, y'all? I'm here to raise your consciousness. Back again with another live. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let the algorithm know that you're getting something of value. Also, check me out on TikTok, BIGBROLGND. You can follow us there. Tap the top right notification bell and be notified when I go live. What up, what up, what up? Brothers and sisters, what's going on? B1 Initiative meeting is let out for the day. I'm here with y'all. Check out Sankofapedia if y'all want to know what that is. Check it out. Link in my bio. It's a project that we're building for us, by us. Tap like, tap like. If you've never had pumpkin pie, tap like. When we get to 2K likes, I'll start to bring people up to answer some of the questions. Here to have a discussion, bring critical awareness, raise your consciousness as always. No agenda to be hostile today. We're not doing that. Hopefully to elevate your mind, educate you a little bit. The first question, are all our people African? That's one that I see a lot of back and forth on. Are interracial relationships hostile? And are you pro-black or are you an anti-racist? Peace, Timothy. What up? What up? Dr. Robert. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I gotta start going live more often. They changed my work schedule. It's been throwing me off. I've been adjusting all week. Changed my work schedule, which ultimately changes my B1 Initiative schedule. Thrown me off all week. But it's okay. We back. We up. It's really interesting how controversial it has become for black people to be African. That is now a controversial statement in 2024, along with saying the earth is round, which I haven't heard much from the flat earthers in a while, so hopefully they're kind of, at least being quieter, because that was an ignorant era. But now the new normal is to question if black people in the United States have African roots, are African people, or if they are, I don't know. One dude came up here and said he was cosmic dust. He was a descendant of aliens. I guess they built the pyramids or something. Y'all don't think it's suspicious that they would tell you that aliens built the pyramids after they tried to tell you Elizabeth Taylor was an Egyptian? That she looked like an Egyptian. And now aliens built the pyramids. The earth could be flat. Even though Egyptians knew the earth wasn't flat. A lot of y'all, if you look it up, the way that the pyramids are pointing to the sky, they had to have known the earth was round. Like there's no other way. And there have records of measurements where the ancient Egyptians were 3 yards off of the actual circumference of the earth. So they damn near knew the entire circumference of the earth. But I digress. Are all black people African? Y'all let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Are interracial relationships hostile? My answer to that would be absolutely yes. Definitely yes. That is, anything given to you by your oppressor is hostile. Nothing given to you by your oppressor is meant to alleviate you from that oppression. There was never any marches or movements organized by our people to have interracial relationships. So that means it was given to us by those that brought us here against our will. Can I just bring a woman to my bedroom against her will and then say, you know what? I love you now. As long as we still live in an environment hostile towards black people, there can't be any true love. There can't be any true love because the first thing you have to think of is your survival. You can't say you're in love if you have to think of your survival first. And unfortunately, that's the strain we have on black relationships as well between black men and black women is, they talk about who's going to go 50-50 on the rent, who's going to go 50-50 on the bill at the restaurant. Black women are looking for a baller. All this type of gender wars rhetoric that we see. And it's really just both of us acting out of survival mode and thinking about if I get with you, will we be able to survive together? That's like the first thought in a relationship is, can this man provide for me in some way if, I'm having, a hard time? Like, will I be safe with this person? Is this person toxic? Like, the first thing you got to think of is your survival in a world where, you have to do that as a black person. So even in black relationships, we call it black love, but as long as we are people that are being oppressed, as long as we live in an environment hostile to us coming together as black men and black women, we have camaraderie more than love. We're comrades. We both have a shared interest in surviving. So we pair with each other based on our, assumption that the person we are with will help us to survive in some way. So that's the thing. Appreciate the gifts. So that being the case, if black love is still dangerous, and hostile in an anti-black world, then how the hell did we get to interracial love? How did we get there? If black love, if there has been historically barriers to black men and black women marrying and being in love, black love is a revolutionary act. As long as there has been barriers put in place to prevent or disenfranchise black people that decide to love each other, then that means black love is a revolutionary act. And so when your oppressor gives you Loving versus Virginia, he's really a revolutionary. You cannot prioritize what's in the best interest of building for black people and also prioritize what's in the best interest of your Gwyneth Paltrow back home. You know what I'm saying? Gwyneth Paltrow Snow. You know what I'm saying? What up, what up?
Gwyneth Paltrow Snow.
I try to put snow in there somewhere, but y'all know what I mean.
Ice Queen.
Yes, the Ice Queen. You can't have an Ice Queen at home and prioritize building fire because the fire is going to melt her. And if you care about her, if that's the one you love, then you're going to try to cool down our fire to make her comfortable. And we don't need you cooling down our fire. But they know that you're going to have that mindset because, when you're in a relationship, you got kids with her and everything, you're going to feel a little bit bad if she just melts away. So that's why we need to keep y'all away from the fire. Need to keep y'all far away. So yes, interracial relationships are hostile. Are you pro-black or an anti-racist? That is a question that I have a lot for people that come up here and come up here for discourse, or we have some sort of discourse where they're not actually understanding the definition of being pro-black. They just kind of understand anti-racism. So I think it's a good conversation to make that distinction. But either of y'all want to talk on the topics?
I'll let Timothy go first.
Ooh. I was about to hit you right with the ladies first. But let's see. Yeah, brother, I agree with everything you're saying. Are all black people African? Yep, absolutely. We are. Malcolm X said it best himself. Literally said that we are Africans who were taken from Africa and brought to America. We are not American. And yeah, I mean, you can't get any clearer than that. Like, we're African, y'all. And are interracial relationships hostile? Yes, they absolutely are. Quite frankly, I personally do not think that interracial relationships have the ability to be consensual, because you can't consent to a relationship with someone that you've been brainwashed your entire life to think is better than you. So that doesn't sound like consensual relationship to me at all. That sounds like you were basically forcibly indoctrinated through Stockholm syndrome by means of an extremely traumatic, forced relationship with the land that we are forced to be in and the people groups we're forced to be under. And then you fall victim to the brainwashing and to the propaganda that they pump throughout media all the time, talking about, oh, well, white people are the saviors. They're the heroes. They're the Indiana Jones is out here saving the world or saving the artifacts from being stolen and misused. When in reality, it has historically been white people who have stolen the artifacts and misused them themselves. So technically speaking, yeah, it's just not possible. Are you pro-black or anti-racist? Pro-black through and through. For me personally, because yeah, I absolutely 100% pursue the prioritization of the global black African family, my family, and that is that. So if if the yeah, and also dating within the community, marrying within the community as a black person is absolutely a um, a responsibility of each and every single person of African ancestry, as well as it's not even really a responsibility because I mean, there's no it shouldn't be a considered a responsibility or a hard choice to just simply be loyal to your own people. Like that shouldn't be a thing. But also being loyal through and through and prioritizing your community, even within the bedroom and who you marry, absolutely goes hand in hand with pro-blackness. So yeah, that is 100% me. Anybody that doesn't do that is absolutely at best anti-racist, and that's even if they engage in some form of trying to benefit the black community beyond that. But it's very hard to do that when you prioritize someone outside of your community rather than someone within your community.
All right. Absolutely.
Clap your hands, everybody. Everybody, just clap your hands. If you bald headed and you don't. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, I got a lot to say. Hello and welcome in to Brother Legends Live. I need you to tap the screen. Tap, tap, tap. Power. Tap that screen. Tap the screen, share the live, and invite your friends. We need to have a conversation, y'all. What is going on? Are you a part of the building? Are you here for the process? We need someone to join b1initiative.org, but you need to be standing 10 toes in your Africanity. All right, y'all. More details coming soon. b1initiative.org. Y'all, we got merch. We got so many different things going on. We're building for our children's children, building for black people and black community, with black people, for black people, about black people. Let's elevate the African mind. All right. Are all black people African? Yep. Are interracial relationships hostile? Y'all ain't gonna like this. I think interracial relationships are what makes it desensitizes black people to the reality of what their black community is going through. So when we say hostile, I think we think of uh, I think more like a violent, even if it's not physical. But to me, I think it's more on a basis of destabilizing that Black person's mindset of other communities, and at the same time taking their focus away from their community and the oppression that their community is experiencing. It's almost like destabilizing them mentally. That's just me. Are you pro? Hold on a second. Are you pro Black? Oh, I'm pro Black. The hell, blackity black.
Okay. Um, yeah. Hostile doesn't always mean violence. It just kind of means, uh, yeah, an action done with a malicious intention. Something that's done to be to the detriment of like an enemy, whether it's a group or on an individual basis. It's just kind of like hostile. But what you said is facts. Shout out to Sister D.
Hey, so
Hold on.
I kind of wanted to
Donkey Kong.
talk about, because I have firsthand experience with the.
Doug, hold on.
All right. Give us your age, your race, and your pronouns, Mr. Donkey Kong or Miss Donkey Kong.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So I'm Donkey Kong. I'm Garrett. I'm 18 as of September 16th, 2005. And I'm white. And well, I think the only one I'm really going to comment on is the interracial relationship one. See, I'm dating a Filipina, and I think it's been going great. I've had experience dating within my race, and it's gone a little, let's say, sour. So I decided to branch off a little bit, and it's gone great. She's happy, I'm happy. Happy wife, happy life.
Okay.
17. I'm not 17. I can't like pull up my ID. I don't want to dox myself, but I can.
All right. Yeah. Let's not talk to the comments.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about our interracial relationships hostile. Talk to us about the topic, not your biography.
Now, for me, I think it's gone great. I don't think the difference in race has really caused any problems. I can see how that might be a little iffy for some other people, but and I've had experience with other races as well. I dated a Sri Lankan woman as well. And for me at least, it's there's never really been a problem. The race part was not really the problems. Of course, with the Sri Lankan one, it was actually she threw a stapler at my head, but that's a story for another time.
Have you ever had a race problem or some sort of problem involving your race before? Have you experienced racism?
I mean, I wouldn't call it racism. I think definitely, I grew up playing football, so being one of the only white kids on the team. I mean, you stick out like a sore thumb, but I wouldn't say it's like crazy racism. It wasn't really picked on.
Okay, so you never experienced racism, yet you came up here to answer the question in context to hostility in race, and tell us that you didn't experience it there either.
I was just commenting on my own personal experience.
Right, but when we talk about racial hostility, do you think we wrote these questions for your pasty ass?
I mean, I didn't assume it was directed towards. It seemed like an open question.
It is an open question,
So
but
don't really know what the problem is.
Centered around white people was not the target audience, if you get my drift. I mean, especially as someone that's never experienced anything. That's like me going into a feminist like room and saying, "I never been R-worded. I never been raped before. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I'm fine. I've had relationships with all different kinds of people, and I've never been raped." Like that's how you sound.
But you asked the question is it hostile? And I answered it through my own personal experience. Now you can say
Now,
whether or not
why
it's
in the
valid or
world
not if
would
I've
you think
experienced,
that we want to know
hostility.
your experience?
Exactly. I was saying my experience.
We don't want to know. We know your experience. We know this ain't a problem for you. So that's why it's interesting why you would censor yourself in this discussion.
I mean,
I wonder. Do you think we just came up and said, you know, I wonder if white people experience racism, y'all? Let's ask this question. Let's find out how their system that's built to benefit them is being experienced by them. That's the question. That's what we all want to know.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just answered the question personally. I apologize if you guys are upset by it.
Nobody's upset.
It's just you trying to answer a question that you have no experience on.
Well, you have to wonder how entitled you feel to speak for something that you've been the community or the group that is constantly benefited from everyone else's oppression.
What the f are you guys talking about, bro?
Oh,
First
this
of all,
is
you
this
gotta
is
go.
this is my
Interracial
wife in
relationships
question.
go.
They
hostile and
never
you're
want to
mad
hear
at
that.
him?
You gotta go.
They
Get your
never want to hear
weird ass
that. They
Oh
never
wow.
want to hear that.
She's just she's supportive, you know.
Who was that? Was that your girlfriend?
That was, yes.
Wow. that makes sense why y'all together. And you said she's Filipina?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You don't want to be Filipina.
She's just she's a bundle of joy.
Graham as the first.
Y'all find her and block her. Him and his weird woman.
Anyway, I think I think I understand my place now. I love my Filipino wife.
Bye.
I blocked his ass. We good on that.
Well, Graham, my God.
Moving right along. I don't know your name, but
I am absolute.
All right, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
28. I'm him.
All right, talk to us.
Me personally, a person who looks into lineages and.
I'm sorry, you didn't give us your race.
Oh, well, shit, a natural born being, the original inhabitant of America.
That's not a race.
Indian.
Oh.
Indians. Not a race either. That's technically Asian.
Well, we was known as melanated at first before our names was changed, so I don't really know what race to call the original people that
Well, melanated is a Greek word for black. So you black?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us.
So a person who looks into lineage, and then look into genetics and biology, and consider going off of history, we was once getting unalive for just looking at them, getting beat for just looking at them. Then changed around to hearing growing up that they don't think it's a prize getting us because it's so easy to get us. So then being also told that they need our genes in order to survive, the up and coming heat waves that's gonna come. So it's a lot of wrong with that, and the fact that if we were really meant to mix, then certain race of women wouldn't require a shot, so her body doesn't eliminate that fetus. So yeah,
that's a little deep. Not everybody needs that shot. But okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you say you were Indian?
Well, like I said, I looked into my lineage, and as far as looking into slavery and having claimants to being from another country, my people don't have any ties to slavery. So it's kind of like before Christopher Columbus or any genetic mutation occurred, there were over 16 different tribes known to already be in America. So it's kind of weird that they will go to other countries to bring people, especially 11 point something, over here on ships.
So do you think that the European transatlantic slave trade happened, or do you think it's a myth?
No, slave trades have happened. Yes.
No, I
And
mean,
then
like the
announced
actual
that the people that
transfer.
were brought here, that mixed with the natural people here, names were
So,
changed depending on who they made it with.
so why do you feel as though that you aren't the people that were brought here and that you're the original people that were here?
Like I said, I've studied genetics and biology, and I've traced my generations tenfold. And all my grandmothers have only been here, and the only time the male has stepped out is if he was in the military.
Okay. And did you realize that recent genetic studies have actually proven that the vast majority of people of African ancestry inside the United States are actually of African ancestry,
Well,
and that
consider that
24%, 24% on average, the average African American has about 24% European DNA because of the forced essay of women of African ancestry during the slave trade.
consider that myself and a plethora of others has sent their animal DNA into the genetics, and all their animals have came up being from some type of part of Africa. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
People
Did you
who've
just
been around
refer
for
to
60,
African? Wait,
hold on.
wait. Time out.
People
Time
who've been
out. Time
around for
out.
60,
Hold on. Hold
people who
on.
have been
Did
around
you
for
just refer? Hold on. Did you just refer to African genetics as being animal genetics? Did you just say that? Did I hear that wrong?
Pray to God, I heard that wrong.
Well, hold on. You can you have to unmute.
You have to
my
unmute.
bad. I said that the plethora and like myself of other people who have sent their DNA of their animals into ancestry.com have came back showing some relation to being from Africa, Germany, all of this. So,
Okay.
me to believe people that only been around for 6,500 years would know about our genetics fully, yeah, no, I'm not gonna take that
Yeah,
information that
but
lightly.
family. There's been black people who have also corroborated every single genetic study that has come out recently. It's not just a bunch of YT people sitting around.
Recently,
Yeah,
recently,
no, I'm not
documents
talking
that
about
have been
recent either. I'm
changed.
talking
So,
about. Have you
so
ever heard of
documents. So,
Chicken Diop?
say it one more time.
You ever heard of the African Origin of Civilization by Chicken Diop?
Explain it to me, sir. Oh, well,
It's a book.
enlighten me.
Yeah, sure. It's a book, and this was basically during a time period where open and active genetic studies weren't really 100% accessible. I mean, they were still in the beginning stages of it, but the 80s and 90s is when you started seeing more of it like actually popping up for the public uh, usage. But like this brother by the name of Chicken Diop, he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, based off of archaeological records, based off of the study of the bones, based off of even like documentation, like ancient documentation. We're talking like ancient historical records
Mhm.
that confirm that all of human civilization came from Africa first.
Do you know who Henry E. Fritz is?
Is he a pseudoscientist?
1890. No, he's a he was a government official. 1890 to 1913. Remember, renaming the American Indian. To solve the American Indian problem, practically and humanely, was to assimilate the American Indian into the Anglo-American culture.
Is this a YT person you're quoting?
Yes, this was around the
Okay.
time when the peace treaties
So
was arrived, that the
the
names were
person
changed.
the
Yes,
person that I quoted is a black person.
and the person that I quoted is a person that was a part of the agenda that was made
And they
into
keep
America.
colonizing and gentrifying history.
Yeah, you're literally quoting the very thing that you said that you were worried about, which is YT sources and them telling you
But here's
specific.
the thing. Here's the thing, y'all. See, what we lack is historical context. When white people first came to Africa, they thought the reason Africans were dark was because they went south, which they considered down, right? Like, going down to hell, right? Downwards. They thought that if you were born somewhere in the south, the darker you got. Like, the further you went south, the darker the people became. Until they came to the Americas, where they kept going south and they didn't see many of us. There were some of us there, yes, but they also saw that there was a lot of non-black looking people. So that's when they started to change the definition, because at first they thought they were all Negro because they were living in the South, and they thought everyone in the South was black, until they found out that not everyone down there, or not all the natives, looked like African people. So in order to justify that, they had to say that we were cursed by Canaan and a bunch of other stuff that has to do with Christianity. It leads to the mid 18th century version of racism that we know today. But he's speaking about when the Native Americans were changed from being considered Negro to being considered indigenous or Native Americans. So that's
Thank you
something,
for enlightening. Thank you for
red.
elaborating that.
So that's the common misconception that you hear when you hear people say this, where they say that we're the Native Americans because the Native Americans got called the same thing as us. The reason they got called that was because they thought just being, south of the equator, being south, meant that you were darker skinned, until they found out when they got here there wasn't many of people that looked like Africans. So there were some here, and we could talk about that all day. We have proof, but not in the numbers y'all try to make it seem like, because believe it or not, the transatlantic slave trade happened, and that is how most of us, I would say 99% of us got here. I have yet to find somebody that can trace their history back before colonization. You could tell me that you have historical records from grandma telling me that you have all your records, which doesn't even make sense if you're a black man, because that means you're telling me that you maintained an African phenotype since before 1492 all the way till now, meaning you must be from some very small island, because even the Gullah Geechee people haven't been able to remain pure. So you're telling me you made it all through antiquity, the transatlantic slave trade, you made it through all the way up until now, Jim Crow, all that, you made it all the way up until now, and not once did somebody mistake you for a slave, not once did somebody mistake one of your parents for a slave or an African if they were never enslaved.
Yes. So when I'm looking at the marriage records, I've looked at the marriage records. I've looked at the changes of the
That can't be
surnames,
true,
the
because
incorporation of the
black
surnames,
people, including Native Americans, didn't have marriage records in
and
in,
this
in the
this is why no,
Europeans did.
I'm just saying that I've looked in this. I've done the research, so I've looked into the marriage
That can't
records.
be
I've
true,
looked
what you
into
just
the
said.
surnames. I've looked at the copper colored beings that were here, the red Indians that were
But
here.
family,
I've
family,
looked at all of that stuff.
family. The
So
problem is that they didn't have any constructs of like writing down and keeping records of whom it was that they were married to. It was just like it was more of a cultural and spiritual understanding that hey, this is like you have,
I
and plus
didn't
it
say
depends on
that
the
I
people
was
group.
using the marriage records
You
as
did say that.
evidence. I said I looked into the marriage records as far as anything else.
Okay, so that can
As
only
far
get you
as
back
with
to maybe the
everything else that I
1800s.
said. Hmm?
That can only get you back to maybe the 1800s. Maybe if you really are looking into more so the European side, maybe the 1700s, but that's about it. You can't, it doesn't go back before that. Like that's like, so what else did you find that was actual documented evidence before these 18, 1700s?
1 second.
And it cannot be YT sources. Like if it's a YT source and you telling us not to trust YT
Yes, well,
sources, so
They just
yes,
don't
well.
make no sense.
When I say not to trust, when I mentioned, I also stated that I can't trust nothing of people that have been around for 6,500 years. And once again, people who whitewashed and changed history to fit their narrative. So that is what I stated. Not in that the last part. I didn't state that part clearly, but I'm referring to the things that they have changed to fit their narrative. Now, at the same time, there's also y'all. You say that there's no proof or anything of such, but there's old maps of Jerusalem and things. But when I say that no connection
Jerusalem.
or not like African or
who
something
were the
like that,
maps made by though?
I mean in the way that they left their land for a reason. So that
Who
means
were the
they cut
maps
ties.
made by
That
though?
means they
Who were the
cut
maps
ties
made
with
by?
their land. That means they cut ties with their land and came here because it was more beneficial for them. So
Okay, but who were the maps
now
made
they
by? Can
have,
you
huh?
confirm who the maps were made by? Can you confirm if the maps are legitimate sources? Can you confirm if the indigenous Americans themselves are saying that these maps are accurate? Can you confirm any of that? Or is it literally just a map that you found online and that you saw through a YouTube video or maybe something on Instagram and then you're bringing it to TikTok?
Do you truly comprehend the properties of melanin?
Absolutely. Melanin is very much so a biological advantage. The earliest human beings on the planet were the most melanated people on the planet, and they literally have been directly linked with African people. Melanin dates back hundreds of melanin actually dates back to the dinosaurs. Like
Mhm.
melanin is very much even higher concentrations of melanin has been linked to higher cognitive function. Higher concentrations of naturally produced melanin has literally been linked to better eyesight. It's been linked to anti-aging properties, protection from harmful rays from the sun. Like there's a lot that, and they're still discovering new properties associated with melanin. And they also know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that people of African ancestry have the highest concentrations of melanin in the entire world, which is why the origins of mankind make sense to have come out of Africa because that's where all the genetic diversity is. And white people have confirmed this, but also black people have confirmed this.
So
Like
now,
this ain't just
so now
random
the
science.
people. So now, with this new evidence that's been coming out to date, man, you know about melanin. So when did the genetic mutation occur? You know about melanin. So where did the genetic mutation occur?
You okay? Are you talking about the genetic mutation of like YT people come into
Straight.
existence?
I'm talking about straight hair, all of that. Yes.
Oh, that's always existed in Africa, bro. Like there's so much genetic
What
diversity.
always existed in Africa?
Okay, so because Africa is the most genetically diverse place on the planet.
The straight hair
Yes, it
the
does.
straight hair
Yes, it does. Speaking,
originates in
listen,
Africa.
family,
You like let him
family,
finish
listen.
though. Like let
Yeah.
him finish and then you can respond.
So the thing is that what's happening is that it sounds like you're being miseducated. You are being misguided into thinking a YT supremacist Eurocentric concept, which is that, oh, all black people got nappy hair. That originated from slavery, that originated from European minds, that has nothing to do with actual scientific fact. Because if you look at Africa, you can literally, just by studying of the genetics, Africa is the most genetically diverse place on the planet, meaning that before there was ever colonization, before there was ever any European transatlantic slave trade, before the Arab slave trade, before any outsiders made their way into Africa, Africa still held the most complex variations of human genetics on the planet. That's how they know that all of human civilization came from Africa, because Africa holds that genetic diversity. So you will see every single type of human being on the planet more so in Africa. You will see that. You will literally see that Asians with more slightly like specific kind of features, you will still see that in Africa amongst the Kosan people. And even though Kosan is a disrespectful term, please, brothers and sisters, correct me on that in the comments if you know the appropriate term. It's just that for this conversation, I'm just letting him know that. So if you Google that term, you will literally see black people in Africa with some of the oldest haplogroups in the world, the oldest genetics in the world, with those features. You will see that straight hair comes from Africa too. You will literally see that in our Ethiopian brothers and sisters. Deep melanin comes from Africa too, and even the genetic variation necessary to mutate into having lighter skin, that also comes from Africa. Like that's like there's real research that has corroborated this. And not to mention, bro, they in 2023 they literally found the oldest evidence ever of human woodworking like construction in Zambia. And it dates back, they managed to find out that, based off of carbon dating, but also based off of other things, because it's so old, it literally surpassed the carbon dating test. I think that's what the study said. And it dated back to 476,000 years ago. Like they literally found wooden tools that were preserved for that long because they were petrified within the sediment, the dirt, and everything. So it's just there's a lot that, well, beyond the shadow of a doubt, proves that like Africa is the place. That's where it all began. And the self hate of thinking that we are not associated to African people when literally Africa has the oldest history ever. Like what? Why? Like that ideology comes from European minds, King. It comes from European minds to not want to associate yourself with African people when literally African people gave birth to civilization. Like the first ever
That been
deity.
debunked, man.
It's not. It has not been. Not at all.
Did you not hear
Just
me
be
when I said?
debunked recently. It
Did you
just been
not hear me?
debunked.
Joseph, hold on. One Joseph, you haven't been introduced into the conversation just yet. So please, can we allow Timothy to finish? And then I just want to make one comment and I'll hop down. But one Joseph, you gotta wait. You haven't been introduced just yet.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So I mean that's it. None of that has been debunked. Like I've never found any research papers that have said, "Oops, sorry, everything that we've talked about for the last couple of decades was actually wrong. Our bad, y'all." Like that's not. Like science is always updating and always changing. So yeah, some stuff can be like, "Oh, whoops, we messed up on these numbers here." Like they just found out that all of human civilization didn't only just come from out of Ethiopia. That's what they originally thought. They thought all of human beings originally came from there, but in actuality, it was a pan-African like human migration patterns. It was literally the intermixing of multiple uprisings of modern Homo sapiens popping up in different parts of Africa. They all intermingled over hundreds of thousands of years, and that's how you see the genetic variation that we see today. So it was a pan-African effort, y'all. The origins of all human life came out of a pan-African movement.
Yeah, the only thing this is Black Swan, but my other account is bananaed. But the only thing I wanted to say to the guest is that the book you're referring to, that was written by Henry E. Fritz, it just explains the process of Native American people becoming citizens through farming. So I guess it was a process where they went from farming the way that they did to owning individual plots, and if they went along with that program, then they were able to become citizens of the United States. So whatever it was that you were referring to in terms of the process of, just any sort of intermingling that they had going on, the book I don't think speaks to that. I think you may have misinterpreted it. The other thing I was going to say is if you were someone who was of, an indigenous people group, then I would assume that you would be connected to a tribe.
Yes, Howard.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I definitely think that you misinterpreted that book though. So I just came up to correct that information.
Misinterpret something when I have ownership of myself.
I'm talking about the book that you referred to, written by Henry E. Fritz. That process, right, in that book, what he describes is a process of Native American people becoming American citizens through farming. That's it.
So, do you have ownership of yourself?
I just came up to speak to the book that you had thrown out there.
But I'm asking you, do you have ownership of yourself?
I
In order to
I
speak on that
only
book, do you have ownership of yourself?
Listen, I don't subscribe to whatever it is that you are speaking to. I am Black. I know that I am African,
Because
specifically
you have a
Nigerian,
social and a birth
specifically.
certificate.
Okay,
That means you are a
you can't
property.
talk over people. You're asking questions and then you're talking over and no one can hear. So I only came up to correct the information that you put out about the book. That is it. I am a Black woman. I'm African. I'm proud. I am Nigerian. That's it. I'm going to hop down. Thank you for having me up. Appreciate it. I'll be in the comments.
Correct me about reading a summary of a book. That doesn't make sense.
I would say, to me, I don't even need to read that book because what you said don't make sense. Because
You have ownership
there's
of
too many scholars that have said otherwise.
but you have ownership of yourself. It's
Chinese
a lot of scholars,
archaeologists,
but they have not actually done the time to.
archaeologists all
They
up in
literally.
Europe, archaeologists in South America, archaeologists in Africa, archaeologists from America have all concluded the same conclusions time and time again, whether it be in anthropology, whether it be in culture, different migration patterns. We know for certain that human beings and the first civilizations come from Africa. That's not, again, this is more like a flat earth thing where, I guess certain content creators can afford microphones and start talking a lot of conspiracy nonsense to people that don't know history prior, because a lot of even brothers, especially the brothers, don't know their history and then learn it from some random person on YouTube instead of picking up a book that's recommended by someone that actually knows about scholarly peer-reviewed journals and can actually use empirical evidence before they make an analysis. But
Hmm.
anyway,
So, as a
we,
being who
we
actually has all three of his papers notarized, who actually knows how to utilize the system that was made against him. You know, y'all, I enjoy when people try to tell me the information that I've came across, which y'all clearly have not came across.
Can you tell me which
But
part of your paperwork that will prevent you from being unalived by a police officer if they pull you over?
what does that have to do? What would they
Because
have?
now we're
Why would they
talking
pull me over?
practically
Why
instead
would they
of
have to pull? Why would they pull me over?
delusionally.
No,
In a,
no,
in a, in a
I'm
practical
answering.
sense,
I'm about
how
to
does
answer you.
being
I'm about to answer you correct. I'm about to answer you because as a person who has dealt with the court system many times, and you can search me, I've won every case. Yeah, but yeah, come on.
Bro,
I get put in
I
handcuffs.
know
If I
that
get
you
put in
get pulled
handcuffs,
over.
no. If I get put in handcuffs, with no warrant. That's kidnapping. I'm getting paid for that. When they stop me,
Okay.
they talk to me.
All right. Well,
That's
guess
money. I'm
what? There's a
getting
lot of
paid.
our brothers and
I'm getting
sisters that
paid.
very much
I'm
so.
getting paid for that. When they stop
Okay,
and
you
talk to me,
can.
I'm getting paid.
All right, but guess what? There's been a lot of brothers and sisters that thought the same thing, but at the end of the day, the police officers just never even marked down that they even snatched them up off the street and they would just unalive them and then nobody would ever hear from them or find them ever again. So, like, let's be very for real and let's
Y'all
actually
talking
approach
about
this
somebody
from a
that's still here.
real
You're talking
situation.
to somebody that's still here, that can still talk about
Okay.
the information that he has come across. I'm still living. I'm 28. I'm still living.
Oh,
I
sir,
utilize everything.
in this conversation, right? You said that you're a native person and you found a way to be a quote unquote protected class, right? Let me see your invite. Sorry.
He's a sovereign
The answer,
citizen.
but then I keep getting muted. So I'm trying to
no,
say
that's not
yes.
the
I'm
Calm,
trying to
citizen.
answer. I'm
calm
trying to say
down.
yes.
Calm down.
I am come. I'm trying to answer you. I keep getting muted.
Bro, you keep over talking to Timothy every time he talks. So it was me that muted you. I didn't do
I'm
that.
trying to answer you. Why mute me again? That does
I
not
did
make
not
sense.
mute. Oh, Lord bless it.
Listen. One thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to like start being aggressive or agitative towards the queens. That's one thing that we're not going to do. So we're going to tone it down. We're
That
going
was
to be
three.
in
But I'm not.
control.
I'm not aggravated
I
or
don't listen.
show any
I
aggressive
don't
energy.
care. I do not give
One more,
two
Steph.
nonsensical.
Sir, listen. Trust me, I'm not one of them. Sir, listen, I'm not one of them. Listen, I'm not been
It sounds
aggressive
like you
towards her.
are.
I've been the same.
All right, we moving on.
Okay.
Shout out to Steph with the gifts. We're gonna move on because we know what cognitive dissonance is. Okay. What you got up, Timothy?
Well, this is a research paper that basically just confirms what it was that I was talking about. Let's see, implementations, adaptation. Human variation. So genetic variation and adaptation in Africa, implications of human. I forget what that word actually says at the end. I think it's like the breakdown of diseases. You can use the genetic variations and the study of African genetic variations to break down how genes like processed and then developed, and also how diseases processed and then developed. So let's see. So it says right there, African populations have the highest levels of genetic variation among all humans. Studies in these populations are used to understand demographic changes in Africa to identify disease-related genes. Africa is where modern humans evolved, is the starting place for global expansion of our species. And they've been saying this for decades. And a lot of people who do not want to affiliate themselves with the most beautiful, richly melanated, and deepest historical people on the planet keep on saying that we are from the Americas rather than from the cradle of civilization. I need y'all to actually go to Africa. Like, go. Just go. Like, don't even like try to debate us. Just go. Just go and then see what you think. And then come back and then let us know how comfortable you actually feel over there versus how comfortable you feel here. I bet you're going to see a lot of brothers and sisters that look just like yo ass. But I digress.
You go to North or South America, you see a lot of people that look like you too, and a lot of people got their genealogy tested and it don't trace back to Africa.
That's because of the European transatlantic slave trade, friend. Literally 80 million of our brothers and sisters, kings and queens of African ancestry, were forcibly taken to South America. So that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of them there now, because they were forcibly made to be there. There's
I
more
think
of
what
them
he's
over
gonna.
there.
I think what he's going to come back with, Timothy, is the Amazonians that they've had their DNA traced back to Aboriginal Australians.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just, it's after a certain point, it's just like, all right, y'all have zero evidence. Y'all have literally been disproven multiple times by both black and YT scholars and black and YT geneticists and black and YT historians time and time again. You literally go to a museum, you will see the actual artifacts that date back centuries that show that the European transatlantic slave trade happened. They literally have fossils that date back hundreds of thousands of years that show that they were found in Africa, and yet we still rage on with the nonsense again and again and again.
So why do Africans have a lot of South American DNA?
They
Can you,
don't.
can you introduce
What?
yourself, though?
Which African
Please
are you
stop.
talking
Please
about?
stop. See how this does not work like
Because
that.
I'm African.
But the Legend Live don't work like that.
Yeah. Hold up, sister. We gotta go one at a time because I'll be trying to actually have a productive conversation in a way that we can all kind of learn. But I know there's going to be discourse. But as long as y'all keep it polite, you know what I'm saying, and don't be disrespectful, then we good. All right. Next guest is One Joseph. One Joseph, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 35. I'm American Indian. I'm from the Seminole Chickasaw tribe. My DNA and my genealogy only been traced to the Americas, as far as Argentina, as south, and as far as north as Canada.
Is that you in your profile picture?
Yeah, that's me on my profile. You go on my page, I have pictures everywhere. And like I said, my people, they grew up on a reservation. And we was on a reservation, but they wasn't what you typically would say is Native American. They was all black. Some had straight hair, some had curly hair, some had waves, but they all was black,
What
as
part
you
of
would say.
America are you from?
You said what?
What part of America are you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. That's where I'm from, but my people are from the Mississippi area.
Okay. So are they like Seminole? What?
I'm Seminole and some Chickasaw. And like I said, the people don't really get into biblical about it, but if you believe in the Bible, you go to Genesis 49:22, it would take you to the Mormon Bible. And if you read the Mormon Bible, it explains more about who's American Indians are and all this and that. It explains more to people so people get better understanding that
Family.
we actually originated from the North America and went to Africa, but we was here first.
Family, you are literally quoting from a tool of YT supremacy in order to try to prove that you have nothing to do with Africa. That's
See, that's
literally
cap.
all.
See, Joseph Smith wasn't white. See, y'all just think that you don't
I
know
said
that.
the Bible.
You did your research to find out.
The Bible. I was talking about the Bible, friend. You can't be using a tool of religion to try to prove an argument that's based in science because, quite frankly, and listen, this is something that's going to strike a lot of y'all deep in the core, but it's important that we know this. The Bible is not a source that can be relied upon to engage in scientific conversation. It is not. It never will be, never has been. It has been reworded, mutilated way too many times. Did they add some stories that were taken from real events? Yes. But again, the vast majority of it is literally just propaganda to keep us in a state of mind that is perpetually dependent on YT supremacist constructs and ideologies, family.
Science as well. Science is theory.
No science.
Science is all theory. It's not based on factual information. It's based on their
Theory
theories, and
is
that's the
something that
truth.
is proven.
Hey, it's a lot that you don't know about what's going on. We got a lot of paperwork getting through. A lot of stuff about to change. You will see. you will see in the next, I say 3 months, a lot. Nobody's arguing with y'all. Did you read the title? Did you read the title? I responded to all his questions he just read out to. I'm not up here arguing with nobody. I'm just telling you who I am and what I am. That was the end of the conversation. Now I'm from Chicago, where we from gangs, and all the gangs know they American Indian. They know that. All the gangs do. You're a fake Chicago person. Nobody want to hear from you, man. You don't know nothing about Chicago, bro. All the gangs was started from American Indian tribe.
Too much. Calm down. All I'm saying is if y'all are not African, why do y'all constantly come in African spaces and tell us y'all not African? What's the point? Lord.
I'm gonna just hop into like a Korean person's live and just be like, I'm not Korean, y'all. I just want you
I
to
want
know.
y'all to know that our community as Korean people, like, what the fuck?
And listen,
Name
family.
one thing y'all do that's African today. This is one thing. Can you tell me one thing that y'all African Americans do that's
I can
African?
tell you
I can name
from like
several.
hold on, no, let me tell him. So from giving birth, if you go into Africa, there's a particular way that Black women, after giving birth, wrap their bodies. The way that we cook, and you know what's crazy about this is one of the things that one of my closest friends and me bonded on was certain dishes that are so much the same, even from Nigeria to Jamaica to Mexico. And you know what's even funnier about us being African people is that y'all remember as kids we used to go. That is actually a language in Africa.
Oh, we didn't do that.
But the craziest part about it is you don't identify with being African based on the fact that you want to be something that won't even accept you. Now you said you lived on
No, no. See,
reservations.
my
Hold
people is
on,
on the
hold on,
res. I
hold
grew up
on.
on the
You
res,
said
so I
that
know
there
about
were
my
well
people.
then
You
why
don't know
aren't you
about your.
over, sir? Why aren't you over there then? Like why would you come in this space and center that you are an indigenous person and then argue with us when there are girls' bodies still being found on side of roads? Y'all have an alcohol and drug issue on these reservations. Why are you here
You see,
arguing with
I
Black
never told y'all I
African
was
people?
Native American. You getting me
Okay, well, what are
confused.
you? You
You
said, okay,
confused. I said
what are
American
you?
Indian is a big difference.
I'm
Do your
done.
research.
He's
Native
Asian. I don't
Americans are
know.
Yo, that's wild.
Siberians.
That's
We are not
wild.
the
That's not even
Siberians.
true.
That's
That's not
wild.
even
Hey,
true.
I'm gonna let Free talk to us. What's good?
What's good? Give me like 2.5
Oh,
seconds.
all
Let me.
right, all
Five,
right.
brother.
Oh man, why you drop? And Free
Five pause. I don't know who dropped him, but he got five.
and free indigenous too.
Actually gonna say, like, as an indigenous person, I study under indigenous people. Like, why are you not over there with? I was literally thinking the same thing as Didi, because if you are indigenous, if you did grow up on the res, then you know that a lot of reservations don't have clean water. A lot of indigenous girls go missing and they're never found because the authorities will be like, oh well, you know, they probably had a drug issue, da 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 da, and that wasn't even the case. There are so many indigenous women who have to, you know, make statements saying, ever don't, I didn't, you know, unalive by sliding, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many issues with the indigenous community that, like, I don't know, why are you here? If, and also, not to mention, like, American Indian is not a thing.
Yeah, that's
Denotes to India. Like, whenever somebody asks me, like, am I Indian? I'm like, do you mean an Indian from India, or are you talking about indigenous people? The correct term is Turtle Islander or Indigenous American. So that's two. And second, I am Seminole, or I have Seminole lineage myself, and I'm where, like, I'm not trying to discredit your information or anything, but like, where did you first hear that? Like, and also what DNA test, like, because you're saying that you're entirely Seminole, and that doesn't make much sense. Well, no, it doesn't, because like Seminole in and of itself is a mixed tribe now
mixed.
because of
Yeah,
how many
that's why I
African
asked
Americans they took in. So it's like you can't be 100% Seminole because it's more of a mixed ethnicity than a fully indigenous ethnic. So you're gonna have to do a lot of explaining to me.
I heard that. Well, thanks for that breakdown. We'll go to the next guest, Mother of Mankind. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm 24 and I'm a she, a her.
And your race?
I came to this. What you say?
Your race?
Oh, I'm black.
Okay, talk to us.
Yeah, I am African. I don't I have seen this trend of a lot of some no not a lot some Black Americans who that want to identify as different groups, like either the Moorish, Hebrew Israel, or the American Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And if some of these people admit that, like if they are a mixture, I think it wouldn't be a problem. But the ones they are solely denying like the transatlantic slavery happened, and that there was Africans that were brought to the American continent, either the Caribbean or South America, the North America. And when they say, oh, we shouldn't listen to the YT people, and that they're always messing up the history. So when I try to speak about my country, my history, and what happened, they say that my people are working with the YT people. They say that African also colonized America, that Africa was the first people to colonize America. And then I hear other people saying that my people originally came from America. They are now flip-flopping history. They're saying that my people were originally in America, and we got kicked out of the indigenous group, and they were sent to Africa. We were sent to in a ship by the YT people. Somehow that's how we brought in some American food to Africa. It's so crazy. Like it's making me sad a little bit because a lot of young Black American youth are on TikTok, and then they're hearing these people who look like them, and they're being confused about their identity. They're
Yeah.
saying that Egypt is somehow in America, that the original Moorish are in America. And I'm like, I told them that Moorish people are in Africa, but it's like
They
they don't
only
want to
they only
listen.
they only confused about their blackness when white folks not around. Because
And I
let it
make
be
my
somewhere and
my
the police
account.
show up. Everybody remember they black then.
Yeah, I try to make my account to show the connection, like the African diaspora, um, like the culture from like the food, dance, the language connections and everything. And I post also about similar features because they like to say, some of them like to say, oh, we don't look like Africans, blah, blah, blah. So I'll make like a collage video, a collage pictures of either Caribbean person, South American, or Black American, and then African on the side. And sometimes, even some of these people who claim that they're American Indians, they be like, I don't look like national African. I'll go and find some pictures of African people who look similar, and I put them on the side. And they can even notice it. They even will sometimes admit it. They'll be like, where did you find these people? And sometimes they will try and deny the person being African. They'll be like, no, that's not African. That's American Indian. I'm like, that person is African. But they don't want to admit it that that person looked just like that. Like if they step foot in those African countries that look like them, they'll blend in. No one would notice that, oh, there's some American Indian or Hebrew Israel or anything.
Hmm. Well, yeah, that's
Yes.
part of their conditioning. Living in a environment hostile to blackness, we're taught to distance ourselves from a proximity to an African identity, because that's harmful, for our survival. So, you know, what does professor call it? Last place syndrome. Nobody wants to be in last place, and they see being African as being in last place, so they're quick to pick up another identity. Um, but it is kind of
It
good
is true.
at the same time. Oh, last place anxiety. That's what we called it. Yeah, but it is kind of good news at the same time because I think we're at a time where uh, brothers and sisters are starting to ask more important questions about who they are, even if they're wrong right now. If we build resources to teach them, the future generations, then you know, I think people are more receptive now than ever to actually know more about who they are and where they're from. So it's kind of like up to those that do know to try to teach them and guide them. You know. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
throw.
I understand you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, appreciate you contributing. We'll go to the next guest. Gene, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hi, my name is Gene. I go by he, him, they, them. 24 and black. Um, this is like my second time being your panel, brother legend. It's like I don't know, a couple of months or so. Let's see. Are all black people African? Well, I think when it comes to that, like people don't understand the difference between a race, a nationality, ethnicity. So not necessarily every black person gonna be African.
Mm.
So when you're African, you're not necessarily black, but I can see like where like the misconception is. So I will say no,
What are you
but
defining as black?
hmm?
What is your definition of black in this answer?
Mm,
Do you
that's a good
consider
question.
Indigenous Australians black?
No. Well,
Even those
unless
that
they
phenotypically
identify it.
present,
Wait, what?
they will tell you they're black. But I'm saying even if they phenotypically present um, as African, you know, got the phenotype, and they're called black, would you consider them black?
Mm, I would say yes if they identify as black.
Okay.
That I hope I didn't say the wrong answer.
No, no. I just that's the right answer for the way that you answered that question.
Yeah, because
There's
like
a there's a
like
uppercase there's an uppercase black with a capital B, and that is an ethnicity more than um, a phenotype. Lowercase b is a phenotype. So if you're talking about black people, as in the phenotype, and gives them inclusion into that category, then yeah, that's how you would answer that question.
yeah, because like if they are, consider themselves black, like am I gonna like question it, 'Cause, like I feel like nobody's better than anyone. So yeah, are interracial relationships hostile? I would say yes, because after thinking about it, I think it's like more harmful than that. Because one, you had to explain your non-black spouse like why we struggle and stuff like that. And two, that particular spouse might see you as a fetish. So I think it's hostile. And the last one, are you pro-black or anti-racist? I would say both. I mean, I'm both pro-black and anti-racist because I do not like racism. And pro-blackness, like when people say they're pro-black, they seem like to be more selective. So I'm gonna be always gonna be pro-black no matter what.
Do you
Rather,
think
people
black
consider
people?
that.
I'm
Hmm?
sorry. Do you think black people should speak against or take a pro-Palestine stance as an
Like just
anti?
only Palestine?
No, no, I'm saying as an anti-racist, what do you think black like people's priorities would be in terms of anti-racism? Like would we then be anti-racist to solve racism all over the world, like Captain Planet, or do you mean uh, I don't know, creating lobby groups or doing social justice work to get people out of prison. Like, what type of anti-racism are we talking about?
Hmm, that's a hard one because I feel like one, like white people didn't make racism, so that's like a work for white people to do. And as term for like for the pro Palestine, I think we can like be supportive not only just Palestine but also like Congo, Sudan, and Haiti. Um,
Why would we? Why would we? Uh, why would we have Palestine on that list yet? I mean, if we put Palestine on that list, it should be at the very bottom of the list because there are
oof.
so many places where Black people live that we still have work to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would we put them on that list yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Um, y'all could talk. I don't know.
I didn't answer for what happened.
Oh, she ain't.
He
And free didn't answer. Could you go ahead?
Yeah, my name's Free. I go by he, him. I'm Afro-Indigenous. Are all Black people African? If we're talking about the theory of race, like as a social construct and in theory alone, then no. But if we're talking about in practice, then yes. Because like mentioned earlier, we don't consider Aboriginal Australian people as Black, even though phenotypically they do present as Black and they have a lot of features that would be considered African. So in practice, no. In theory, technically, yes. Are interracial relationships hostile? In today's climate, yeah, because not a lot of people are willing to actually put the work in to dismantle their racist, or rather their anti-Black ideologies and come out of that. And most people are just concerned with being perceived as racist rather than like actually being racist and causing harm. Am I pro-Black or anti-racist? I'm pro-Black. Um, I think that's self-explanatory. Like I do stuff to boycott for all of the things that are going on, but it's mainly because like it has a direct effect in Africa as well. Like the Congo is being exploited by Israel. Israel is responsible for apartheid South Africa. They are partially responsible for Sudan. Like they are also causing havoc in Africa, and nobody talks about that. They're only focused on Palestine, which, don't get me wrong, it is a very serious issue and it's still a mass unaliving regardless. But it's like it's also happening in Africa and nobody's connecting the dots, and it's just really interesting to see it, because typically I'll be in these spaces and I always have to be the one to bring up like, hey, they're also doing this to my people too, and that's just as important.
I would say more important, but I hear you. And the reason I say more is because I was explaining earlier how the number one export of Israel is diamonds. Number one. That's their top export. Diamonds. They mostly get those diamonds from Africa, specifically the Congo. That is their number one export. If you wanted to do something that could bring down 20% of their GDP, probably even more, because they don't have mines. They're taking African resources. If you wanted to deal a major blow to Israel because you're so anti-imperialist and you want to do something for Palestine, then help us free the goddamn Congo, because that's going to majorly affect their ability to oppress the Palestinian people, which anyone in this case would be trying to, save.
Absolutely. Also, just in terms of world health as well, like Africa is one of the most important ecosystems in terms of climate change. And so in freeing Congo, we would also stop the massive habitat destruction that is going to not only hit African people first, but then hit the rest of the world 10 times harder.
Yeah, so that's the thing about that. Like, I feel like if we want to be anti-imperialist, we can do that at home, and it would help everybody else anyway. So you may as well, if you're a black person, we can't take our eyes off our wounds for a second to look at somebody else's, because as soon as we do that, everybody else feels just as entitled. Like they not even worried. It must not be that bad. It must, shoot, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they already do,
Let's
buddy.
free Palestine, which in turn will free no one else. Palestinian people aren't even oppressed outside of Palestine like they are in Palestine. But black people are treated like black people no matter where you go, even in your own neighborhoods.
Yep. Right now in the Sudan, the United Arab Emirates is funding the RSF to go into a areas where basically they are facing an impending mass unaliving, yeah,
Where?
and in the Sudan, in Al Fashar and I'm sorry, in Dashar and Al Fashar.
They just happen to be fighting where all the resources at. They don't
Yep.
be fighting where there ain't no resources. They, for some reason, they just happen to be fighting over these mines. And shout out to Ibrahim Traore and the presidents of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Because my goodness, like I just heard about Chad nationalizing their their French gold mines, like their French assets. They're going to nationalize it, so it's officially state property now. Burkina Faso is building refineries. Niger is building their own refineries. So all that is good news, but yeah.
African liberation equals the destruction of Europeanization. And Europeanization is directly responsible for all of these atrocities that we are seeing globally. So if you want to stop global atrocities, if you want to stop the mass extinction of even like species of animal, which literally is directly the result of European control, then you will do what is necessary to reduce their access to the resources of Africa. Like literally, like y'all, Africa is huge. It is huge. It's like to 5 times the size of the United States.
Yeah.
Like, and it takes a very long ass time to get across the United States. It's like what, multiple days of just driving, and you have to take breaks on top of that. And like, Africa has all of every single element on the elemental chart. Got gold, it's got diamonds, got uranium, it's got rubber, it's got every type of agricultural resource, it's got just eons of land, and they're still finding. They've only chipped the surface when it comes to natural resources. So remember the movie, everybody listening in, Black Panther, how they talking about vibranium? The reason why that kind of makes sense is because there's literally every other natural resource in real life that is absolutely within Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So the people controlling those resources will definitely give them more power back into the people's hands that are being unalived. And that is the greatest fear of Europeans and Arabs. Because, like the second that you give the people groups that they've been unaliving back access to their own resources, that's when they lose their power. And they think that African people are going to do the same thing to them. But see, that's the thing. African people don't have cultures that are based on mass unaliving and just unimaginable like aggression. Like we that's not us. So even if we were to gain, well, when we do gain power, European nations, we're going to restrict access for sure, but are we just going to go storming into their borders and start? I don't think so. But that, quite frankly, if Africa decides to do that, so be it. It is 100% within their realm of rights. If they decide to do that, so be it. But conversation is about education, so we're gonna stick to that.
I'm gonna say
Hey, go ahead, D.
when you said just as important is the problem that we have in our community. And I don't think you intended it that way.
Oh no.
I intended it specifically because when I'm in these spaces explaining it to these people, they feel like it's secondary to Gaza. And so for me trying to explain it to them, I'm just trying to get them to see that it's just as important before realizing that it's more important, because free Africa is the key to liberating every other nation. So no, I personally think that it is more important, and the idea that it is just as important is an issue, because Africa it's an epicenter for everything in the world. It's an epicenter for resources, biodiversity, so much, and it's incredibly important to free it.
So I was gonna say, that's the point. When you said that, it made me think about how Black people put themselves in second place in every sector when it comes to other communities, and that's the problem when it comes to interracial dating, because we take a back seat to everybody else. We'll put all of our issues on the back burner, and we fix and help everybody else's community. No one ever sends a ship for us. And I think these conversations speak volumes to the reality that we got to stop letting everybody else's issues be more important than our own. It is crazy that you're out here trying to survive and they're thriving even in the midst of their oppression or any struggle they have amongst each other, and they will still not reach out and be like, okay, we're going to support y'all through this. Because like you said, Congo, Sudan, Haiti, shit, even in Jamaica, Black people are still seeing different levels where they're being economically and systematically oppressed and pushed back. And we're sitting here worried about other people that, if we were in their country, would treat us less than human. So I think we have an issue that we got to recognize, that we need to value ourselves. So that's a huge problem in our community. We don't value ourselves enough.
Yeah, that's right.
I would definitely agree to that. And it's honestly, like, I personally think that as a community, we should honestly, like, it's getting to a point where we need to stop offering help unless they're like giving back to us in some way, shape, or form. Because you're so right. Like, we will do everything that we can to help these people get out of their oppression. And then they'll like, oh, well, you helped me, so clearly it's not that bad for you. And they'll sit and perpetuate white supremacy to our face.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anti-blackness in that world. For me, the barrier of entry to allyship with Black people from Palestinians, basically, they would have to start to call out Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and other places, that are problematic and hostile towards Black people, that still have a modern day form of slavery going on. Like, when they start to actually work on that with their, cousins in that region, then I would at least, if they just documented something, their voices, to say that reparations are owed even to Afro-Palestinians because of the Zanj slave trade that went on there. Like, I'm just saying, like, they've never done any of that. They've never had their version of Malcolm X speak up for us. That's just never happened. So they're only saying the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're not saying, you know, when we go into their spaces, they're going to be talking about how they're signing petitions to end modern slavery in Saudi Arabia. They're not going to stand up to them. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's, to me, performative.
Yep. Even like those times where they come onto Pan African panels and they start, like immediately jumping in completely, it's we'll see them kind of sliding in to ask for funds or funding about something, and it's just like, all right, listen, like no, no, we're not giving you any resources whatsoever, because at the end of the
Say what I
day,
say.
yep, like, yeah, like, hell no, like, no, absolutely fucking not. No, if you're not going to free our brothers and sisters of African ancestry over there, then we ain't giving you shit over here. Like, nah.
Was you in that? Were you in that room when the brother from Saudi Arabia came in? Was that you, Timothy?
I don't think I was there. Why? What happened?
We got a brother in the Discord that's from Saudi Arabia.
Oh no, I was there for that.
You
Yeah,
were there for that, right? Remember how he was
yeah,
talking?
yeah. Yo, that
That was
that
crazy. I
that
never
made
been
me
to
laugh.
Saudi Arabia, nor do I have plans to go. But this brother in the Discord is from Saudi Arabia. If y'all don't know about the Discord, b1initiative.org. We got 850 Pan Africans all around the world in there. And this brother from Saudi Arabia. He's living there now, and he's telling us like, yeah, everybody's got like maids. Where he said it was from Uganda, like or somewhere. I don't know where he said the maids was from, but he called them like maids, like servants, and that pretty much they all type of stuff be happening to them when they have a non-African boss. There's like a lot of abuse and stuff that goes on, but that when the Africans have their maid or whatever, they treat them like family. So that definitely sounds like antiquity. Not antiquity, antebellum South. That definitely sounds like uh, you know, back in the day, the black people would treat them nicer. And then, yeah, he was telling me like about how some of them, in the news will be unalived by the person that quote unquote is their boss and not get charged for anything. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting how he was breaking that down for us, how that's just like going on. It's just normalized. And you could tell how normalized it was when you talk to him because he's not like, he just speaking it like and it's, in my mind, I'm listening to him like, bro, you sound like you talking about sharecropping or something. Like, you sound like that's today. Oh, nah. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of wild.
Right. No, I've heard of system. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said the story you was telling was like they basically trapped that woman, took all her passport and all her information. She couldn't leave. It was crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
To really touch on what D had said about like black people putting themselves second, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like, now that you said it, like I've now seen where I've done it in my own activism, and that like now I realize that like well, not now I realize, but like I I've been thinking about it, and I see even more now how like the freedom of Africa is more important than the freedom of Palestine, because at this point it's not gonna fucking happen. They're not listening to us. We've been voting, signing petitions, calling in. They don't care. They're not listening. The only thing that we can do is cut them off to the resources that they need to make these weapons in the first place. How do we do that? Liberating Africa. Everything that they need to perpetuate all of these different systems of oppression, they're getting out of Africa. So
Exactly.
once African people have control of their resources, we can deal with everything else. So it's like it's crazy how everybody be putting us on the back burner, and if everybody just put in some effort to free us, everybody else would get freed. It's crazy.
Yep.
You can't use us. That's the problem. You're a tool. And as long as they see you as a tool that helps them get what they need and what they want, why would I liberate you? I can control you.
Right. And it just like, I just really got extra ick. Like, I'm sick to my stomach right now.
I seen a video where this lady was in the airport. This uh K Aaron. Can I say that word?
Can't you
Karen.
say Carrie, say
Yeah.
Carrie.
A Carrie was in the airport going like she was just acting hysterical. And then the airport security approached her. They're like police officers, and they're about to arrest her. And she was like, "You're treating me like I'm black. You're treating me
All
like I'm
right.
black." You ever see that
It
video?
was a white man doing that too.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yep, I seen that one too, and I seen but there's a bunch of videos like this. But what I'm trying to say is that's kind of like without any action proactively to hold people in your own community accountable for anti-blackness, reaching out to black people when something's going on with you is to me like screaming out to them like to those that are mistreating them, y'all are treating us like black people. Like, you know, we're not supposed to be treated this way. Like, there's black people, you know, worldwide getting treated worse than them for longer. And, you know, it doesn't get treated like this is something out of the ordinary. Like, you know, Stevie Wonder has a song called Ordinary Pain. I think I told y'all about that, but
So just real quick, y'all, I
yeah.
wanted to bring everybody's attention to a while back ago, a couple comments back. King Cobra typed in the comment section, freecongo.org needs 130 petitions to meet its goals. Let's do it today. So yeah, to be honest, I still need to do more research into like the petitions and like how they like push people to action. But if we can get 130 signatures in there, freecongo.org, then, and if it's unapologetically centering the liberation of our Congolese brothers and sisters over there, then absolutely. Absolutely. I just wanted to let everybody know. It says freecongo.org.
Yeah, I do see it here. And there's a way to donate on here too.
Gotcha.
I think the petition got thrown out though.
Mm,
The case for the petition got thrown out. Supreme Court won't hear it.
of course.
They threw that away fast. Like they usually deliberate or something. They was like, nah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we
I was
tried
gonna.
their system.
You about to say, Timothy?
Mhm. Oh, no, go ahead, Queen.
I was gonna say, to the Carrie and the Ken, don't y'all think it's funny that they know that you're getting treated different than them? They're okay with it as long as it's not them. And in these conversations, we had a room, I think it was Kit Kat room, like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And this YT, I gave her so much grace. The first thing she came up and did was like, I have a black husband, this, that, and the third. Anybody can be racist. I don't see a problem with YT women wearing black hairstyles. Da, 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 da. They understand their position and they weaponize it in a particular way that makes it as if you are just complaining. It's your problem. It doesn't affect me. And I think it's to the comfort of them is where we got life effed up. And we at some point have to realize that we got to stop letting everyone else feel comfortable with disrespecting us. Because that's the biggest problem. I told y'all before, when I be and somebody say something stupid, I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable. If not, kick you out. Because I want you to know, like, you can't play with me. And the sad part about these conversations is a lot of people let people play in their face. Whose live was that earlier when that girl said, it was somebody else's live. She said that at her job, people were calling her the N-word and saying the N-word. Lady, and the advice that people was, and this wasn't anybody's room, I think that we know particularly, but the advice they were giving her was so wrong. And I was in the chat like, you need to contact corporate, then you need to contact EEOC. Like, y'all gotta start hitting people where it hurt. And for them, it's money. It's always been money. Like, it was so frustrating to think that, the best thing about them, and I don't think anybody on this panel will admit it. I know I don't do it, but a lot of y'all allow people to how do I say this? Because I always tell people this. I even tell my clients this. You will never be comfortable. I will never compromise my comfortability for your comforts. And what that means is you won't be in my face being disrespectful in any regard. So, and I'm going to bend over or I'm going to allow you to be disrespectful about me or black people for your comfort or ignore it for your comfort. That is something that we at some point have to do. Like, stop letting them feel comfortable with being disrespectful.
Exactly.
okay. I mean, yeah, we could try.
No, why would you say you're treating me like a black person?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. When it comes to that, yeah. That's really how performative it is. Like, We're not standing up for black people in any other way. But you know what? They treating us like UN words. We don't like it. But let me go to Rashad. He still didn't get a chance to talk. Go ahead, Rashad. What's going on, bro?
What's up? I just wanted to, I was just listening in, man, listening in. Of course, when you have these interracial relationships, and I just wanted to bring up a different type of one this time. I know we focus on, the romantic side of things, but it's something disturbed me today when I seen a MMA fighter named Michael Chandler, man. He went on he fight for the UFC. He went on a podcast, and it was more of a right wing podcast, more like a soldier podcast. Got on that platform and was like, "Hey, I'm raising black men. I'm raising men, not black men. And this is a man who's married to an American. He's an American dude married to an American white woman, and he has two adopted dark, rich melanin black babies. And when I heard that, man, it just disturbed me because I knew when I first had heard about him, and because the UFC puts, they put your family and everything in everybody's face. He has these black sons, and and like I said, his wife is just, what I'm saying, American white woman. So they're adopted, and the way he worded the rationale for him, being able to be a blessing, and just proclaiming that we're raising our sons to be quote unquote impartial and all that type of stuff. So that just really it hurts because those boys were in a difficult situation, and now their legal caretakers have this type of attitude where the history of over 400, 500 years doesn't matter, and even current events. When you say you're raising men, not black men, and those are two black boys that have to grow up in the same exact, world and country that all of us black people have, we live in, it's just so it tells the whole story of how when you have this savior complex, also crippled with the cognitive dissonance of a Zionist, you have these situations where white men think they can basically, save the world. And these boys will not be taught anything. They won't be taught, basically right from wrong as a black person in all extensive purposes. So yeah, I just wanted to. It's a different type of relationship when you have these adoptees with this white man who thinks he's doing God's work apparently. It hurts because they're gonna have to live with that until they can be old enough to make their own decisions. But
Yeah, I've heard some nightmares since I've started this live. I've heard some nightmares. Oh my goodness. Stuff you wouldn't believe. They come up here. One lady, oh man, never mind. I don't even know if I can say that on TikTok. She almost got me bananaed up here. But yeah, especially alarming when they come up and answer the questions with some sort of like preference for black men. Like they talk about it some sort of like fetishy type of way. And then this one lady, after saying some weird shit, ended up telling us that she had a biracial child, a boy, a black child. She didn't call him that, but he gonna grow up to be a black man, and can you imagine your mother fetishizing black men, and she's the one that raises you?
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's sick.
something else.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah, yo, it is a lot of psychological unpacking that has to happen on a regular basis. And, 90% of the time, like you're not even going to be able to reach certain members of your family because they're so indoctrinated that it's just there is no reaching. There is no reaching. And the crazy part is that these are literally your family. This is like your flesh and blood. And you have to deal with them for the rest of your life, and you have to deal with their refusal to unlearn shit. And like it goes so deep, and it's very, very bad. Like that's why I remember one time before I posted a video, or at least I think I came up on a live. This was like months and months ago. But came up on a live, and I was, of course, as I'm talking like how I normally talk, unapologetic. Hey, here's the facts. Pro black, we black Africans, y'all. Boom. And so then I get like a couple of of people that like I get a couple of mixed race Africans sliding into my DMs talking about like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're this, that, and the third, da 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 da. Your mom should have swallowed you, and da 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 da. Flood. And then this one dude made this long ass like video response to me, and I watched it all the way through. He spoke nothing but nonsense, talking about, well, I have a master's degree in such and such and such and such, so therefore I'm very intelligent, and everything you were stating is wrong. I'm like, bro, you have a master's degree in what? Digital communications? That what does that have to do with genetics? What does that have to do with social issues? Like what? Like if I wanted to ask you a question, I'll ask you. If I wanted to ask you a question about digital marketing, I'll reach out to you. But until you start reading a book from the experts about social issues, about racial issues, about the history behind all that, about genetics, then I'd like get the hell out of my comment section. Get off of my DMs. That's why I don't even respond to 90% of the stuff, because it's just like majority of it is just, well, I don't really know who I am, but I'm gonna tell you what you should do.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. We got a new guest.
Oops.
Oh yeah, we do got good. Hey man, I don't even check them. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at the number and how many comments, likes, shares, stuff like that. Like I look at the numbers. I don't even look at the comments for real, because unless I see something really wild. But
May I ask you a question?
yeah, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Yeah, I'm a he, him, and I'm 38. And what
Race,
else? What else do you need?
your
Race?
race. Yeah.
I'm Indian.
As an Asian.
Yeah, as an Asian.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just I don't mean to offend anyone. So if I'm saying something wrong, educate me. I'm more than willing to change my mind. But when the first question says, "Are all black people African?" In India, there are some extremely dark people. They are darker than many Africans I've seen in the U.S. And so I would say no, not all black people are African. Is that wrong, or what's the thought behind that question that you got?
Blackness in terms of color is not the same thing as the blackness that we're talking about up here.
Oh, okay.
So
That's why I was confused, I guess.
yeah, capital B.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about black people with a capital B, we're talking about those that have a shared land, history, and culture in Africa, going back thousands of years.
In that case, you would say then all black people are African, right? Because they all kind of descended from Africa in some way.
In the past 1,000 years, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I was kind of curious about that.
What also is important to note is that India is the second most melanated like location in the entire world. The first is Africa. So you're gonna see a lot of like heavily melanated people over there because it's the second most melanated people group in the world.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but also at the same time, technically speaking, right outside that region, or at least like closest to it, they have the highest concentrations of Neanderthal DNA as well. So that's actually been proven, and we can even see that with what happened with the vid outbreak. And because the reason why I bring that up is because recent research has shown that with higher or certain concentrations of Neanderthal DNA, it actually makes you more susceptible to being unalived when exposed to vid-19. So that's why we were seeing a whole bunch of people uh, basically, getting wiped off the map from this illness, from that virus over in India, because that makes sense
So
biologically.
how come more people were dying in America than in India? I don't know if India was faking their numbers. I know China was, but numbers
Well,
wise,
I mean,
with a
well, be
bigger millions
careful.
of population, more
Use
died
the
from
word
this.
unalive. Use the word
Oh, I
unalive for
apologize. Sorry.
yeah. So
Yo, wait, hold on. I gotta say this. This is wild. I actually looked up what he says. It's on nature.com. Yeah, they've got actual links to the study. It says the major genetic risk factor for severe vid-19 is inherited from Neanderthals. Wow.
yep, yep. So
Damn.
that's
It says about 50% of people in South Asia and around 16% of people in Europe have Neanderthal DNA.
yep.
50% of people in South Asia. That's wild.
But maybe India is just faking the numbers, because if you look up the COVID numbers, it's significantly less death than U.S. with a billion, almost 2 billion population. So percentage wise, it didn't make sense. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I know India fakes their numbers just like China, so it
Oh
could
yeah.
very well be the
There's
case.
another one. The four Neanderthal genes that make vid-19 worse. Once again, yeah. I'm just because it does sound like a wild conspiracy that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, the National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central, how our Neanderthal genes affect the vid-19 mortality in Iran and Mongolia, two countries with the same. Yeah, it says a bunch of other stuff, but I don't want to say that stuff. It's more virus names. But yeah, so that's wild.
What's the F1, F2 mean on the chat? Does anyone know?
F1 means they're letting the algorithm know that I didn't say anything offensive.
Okay. And then I guess for are you pro black or anti-racist? Uh, that's a tough question, man. Being Indian, I feel sometimes uh, we also experience racism. So I feel like it's better to be anti-racist than just pro one group. You know what I mean?
Especially when you're not part of that group.
You talking about for yourself, right?
Well, I mean, Indians also were slaves in their own way by the same people. British people
Why would you
enslaved
bring
us
that
too.
up? Why would you bring that up?
Because we went through similar struggles, is what I'm saying. Maybe
No, didn't.
Not true. Not true.
not the exact same. I said similar.
Not that
My
similar
my,
I
either.
wouldn't even say
my
similar.
grandma was part of a stadium where the British people tricked everybody to go into the stadium and to see a cricket match.
So just to let you know, friend, literally the mass unaliving of people of African ancestry is ranged between 60 million to 200 million, and some scholars believe it to be more. And that's just during the European transatlantic slave trade. During the Arab slave trade, potentially between 60 million to another 200 million. And again, that is just for the Arab slave trade. So collectively, the mass unaliving of African people could potentially be upwards of 400 million people, as far as we know. There's no way to really 100% tell because a 1,260-year period of African enslavement and mass unaliving and colonization of Africa has taken place. That has never happened to people that live in India or Indian people. And
That's true. I
also,
agree with you.
they're definitely not to disregard any of the atrocities that the British have committed against India, but to try to equate their struggle with the Black African struggle when literally the Black African struggle is like so much so that we don't even control the vast majority of our land in our own continent.
That's a good point. I
That's
apologize for trying to compare it. I didn't mean to like downplay it. I said I'm more than willing to change my opinion when you present facts. So I didn't know that the numbers were that steep.
Do you think it's wild that you need to be convinced or informed instead of just saying they're humans and, they have a level of atrocities that I'm somewhat aware of, not fully, but instead you need Black people to prove themselves to you?
I didn't say you need to prove yourself. I was saying Indians also went through some atrocities
Listen to the
similar to
question.
Black people. I didn't
Listen,
say you were
listen,
lying
listen to
or nothing like that.
no, listen to the question. I said, do you think it's odd that you need something to be proven to you for you to be convinced? Because in this conversation, had you told me, my community experienced a hardship, I'd be like, okay, completely understand. But furthermore, I don't go out of my way to step on the toes of other communities because I know respect. And I know that all other minorities have experienced a level of oppression when it comes to YT people. But in this conversation, you wanted to match, which is very strange. And on top of matching,
Yeah, that's
was
my
something that
bad.
you have to
I
be
didn't mean to do it that
proven.
way.
Okay, that's fine. But you have to be proven to a point to be like, oh, wait, they're human too.
You want me to say something?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
All right. Well, best of luck with your struggles there.
Yo, one more point though. Last point. The reason I'm anti-racist over pro-black is Asians don't get any
We don't
type of.
ever mean you when we say pro-black. So you couldn't be pro-black if you wanted to be.
Why not?
You don't have the requirements.
What's the requirement?
Well, in order to be pro our community, you got to be a member of our community, which you are not.
Friend.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of in the name. I can't. I've never played for Arsenal. Can't call myself an Arsenal player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you could still be pro Arsenal.
No, you not. All right. So, have you ever heard of the term pro-life?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean that you just want all the plants and the bugs and the trees and the birds to live? Or does pro-life mean something else?
Today it means something else.
Yeah. So pro-black means to prioritize one's actions and values with what's in the best interest of building within the black community or building to empower the black community. So that means prioritizing one's actions and values.
shot.
You make you can't make another community your priority and your community your priority at the same time, because there's going to be times where there's a conflict of interest.
That's a fair point. Again, I really didn't mean to hurt any of your feelings or offend you. I'm sorry if I did. I'm learning.
Feelings, because you can't hurt feelings over here. You're not dealing with weak people, first of all. So I don't know why y'all get stuck on this feeling stuff. We don't deal with feelings. We deal with facts.
Yeah.
That's why Timothy said what he said.
Well, then, if you're like pro facts, then why is it so wrong for me to ask for facts to believe you? Earlier you said why was it,
there you go. Keep going. Keep going.
Earlier you said, don't you find I find it weird that you need facts to believe a struggle. So why is it wrong for me to just ask for some of the facts so I can?
I love how you tried to catch yourself.
What did I say?
You proved my exact point when I said we have to give you the facts of our reality for you to even empathize or even think of us as human. You have to be convinced.
That's not true. I don't think of you less of a
okay,
human.
so then what was your thought process before you were told what you were just told that made you say, oh, I changed my mind on that?
I changed my mind because I was, yeah, you're right. Like I was trying to equate. I was trying to equate like, hey, Indians also went through some shit, but I was wrong in saying that they went through the same level of it. You know what I mean?
No.
No, I'm not turning my camera on, man.
I don't know what you mean. Because in this conversation, when facts over feelings, and you keep bringing up feelings, we don't give a damn about nobody's feelings.
But then why were you attacking me when I
How
wanted
did I
facts?
attack you? Okay, when I attacked you, did I black your eye? Did I bust your head open?
No, but you
Did I
said
make sure I fucked you up?
I find it weird that you got to have facts for you to
Because
make it formalize an
listen,
opinion. That's just what a normal
because
educated
it
person
is
does.
not
They take
black
facts and
people's
they change their opinion.
responsibility, because it's not black people's responsibility to educate every single person that tries to ask us questions about what's going on with us. You see what's happening. You can literally Google it. All you have to do is do that. I'm not going to educate you on how to do it. It's
Do you see
literally
what happens to Hindus
that's it.
with Muslims in India? You don't Google
Good,
that,
good,
do you?
good.
What does that have to do with black people?
Wasn't us.
We wish it was that simple. Those are ideological differences, buddy.
Yeah, but
Being black is a state of being. Hindu and Muslim is a state of mind. Okay? We're dealing with two different types of metrics for oppression here. But we got another guest up here. Want to give him a chance to speak?
Take care, y'all. I'll bounce. I don't want to bother you.
Hey, brother. I was just coming up to see why King would come into this space, centering himself, making it all about him. I didn't understand. I also was hoping that he could tell me how he was supposed to form an opinion about something that he was missing the facts on. Yeah, but he's dropped. So that's
Yeah,
So
they
just
we run.
real quick, family. Oop, there's a little bit of an echo.
Oh, you got an echo. Okay, go ahead, Timothy.
Anytime that a person that is outside of our people group that comes up with a name that talks about God or king
Right.
or master or some shit, never address them as the name that's listed there, because that is literally their way to get some type of psychological kick, so that way they can get black people to address them as that. Like that's all that is. That's them trying to fetishize they're trying to fetishize slavery, basically, where our ancestors had no choice but to address the enslaver by the way that the enslaver forced us to address them as. So that's the reason why they put those names there. That's the reason why they come into black spaces. So just just be mindful of that. So if you want to call them a name, just address them by whatever the picture looks like on their screen.
Yeah, I did avoid that when he first came in.
I didn't realize I did too. I was like, so yeah, anyway, I never said
Because there was one dude that came up and his name was God or something one time, and he was racist as hell. I was like, oh, nah. All right. And then one person tried to come up. I forgot their name was Jesus or something. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. So yeah, I'll just be dropping them. But I mean, India, they got their own thing going on. Shout out to Gayatri Spivak, you know what I'm saying? They got their revolutionaries too and their revolutionary ideologies. They do have a caste system that's supposed to be not built on race, but for some reason the black people end up at the bottom of that caste system. But yeah, they're it's weird. You don't want to make it the oppression Olympics, but to come up in a conversation where we're talking about being pro-black and center Indian oppression is kind of, it's like when Irish people start telling you about Irish slavery, like just randomly. Yeah. Did you want to answer the questions, pro-black?
Do I still have an echo?
Nah, you good. Oh, yeah, you do. I'm gonna just leave. Go ahead.
Okay. And you could still call me KCAC. It's so weird with all y'all calling me pro-black. Are all black people African? Yes, sir. And I'm tired of y'all fighting about it. Are interracial relationships hostile? What do you mean by the hostile by using the word hostile specifically?
So yeah, there's two ways I looked at the question. I do leave the questions open to interpretation because sometimes it's hard to make a question everyone's going to look at the same way. But yeah, this one, it could be, is it hostile, meaning bringing interracial relationships to the Black community? Was it hostile action, an action meant with malicious intention, or is the environment created by an interracial relationship hostile? When I say hostile, I meant in the context of Black people. All my questions have that context of us first by default, but someone might come up here and answer that differently. But I mean, hostile to Black people is the idea of interracial relationships being brought to us, because that's what it was. No one was marching for this. Like, we had to, hang from light poles before we got the right to vote. But the right to love white folks came at no cost. So when it was brought to us, was it a hostile action? Or you could look at it and say, is the environment of the relationship hostile?
Okay. I'm going to say both. I'm going to say it was brought to us definitely, or it being brought to us was definitely a hostile action. I think it was for the benefit of YT people. I think that when they want access to us and our bodies, then they get it. And unfortunately, a lot of Black people do not really recognize that. And I'm going to say that I'm pro-Black.
Absolutely. Okay.
Y'all know
Well,
that's right
thank
there.
you for that, sister. Yeah. Thanks for letting me explain that question, because I didn't do that earlier.
Of course.
Holy Spirit activate. Are you tired? Are you sleepy? Are you tired of the coon poon foolery? It's time to get hooked up. LinkedIn with beoneinitiative.org, where you can learn to be great. Are you a little confused about your Blackness? Not sure where to plug in? It's time to tune in and turn up and get educated and elevated with beoneinitiative.org. It's time for y'all to figure out, are we living to be Black, or are we Black and living? Either way, it's time for you to join the team. BeOneInitiative.org, where you can learn to be great. Black people building with, for, and around Black people. We're trying to elevate y'all. Come join the team. Get in jobs, plug in, and realize what's going on. At the end of the day, we're here for you. Let's tune in. Let's turn up. But most importantly, tap the damn screen. Tap, tap, tap. Power tap that screen. You guys, we are at 34.3K, and I don't mind locking up the chat. You will need your papers. If y'all don't tap that screen and get us to 50K ASAPPP, like that check y'all got that y'all gonna go to jail for in the next 10 years. All right, share the live and make sure you invite your friends, your frenemies, invite the Poontinimies. But most importantly, make sure you guys subscribe here and at Brother Legends Live on Twitter, and as well as YouTube. You guys, we need you to make sure that if you're going to be a part of the family, if you can't give us your time, give us $1. Donate to bring down Babylon, or subscribe to be1initiative.org, where you can learn, educate, elevate, and celebrate with Black people. You got to build for the future, y'all. We're trying to grow. Let us know if you're interested in any of the little positions we have. I said little. This is a big deal. If you're interested in being a part of the teams, contact me. We're looking for more people to help us grow, elevate, and develop. Marketing. If you are good at graphic or designs, do you want to help promote? You guys, hit me up. But also, make sure that y'all are gifting your host. Y'all being stingy today. Now, I know some of y'all was twerking this weekend, but y'all can still tip $1 or $2. Bring down Babylon. All right. Until we meet again, y'all tap up. I'm tapping out. But if y'all don't get to 50K, the chat is going away.
Whoever was twerking this weekend, Y'all can keep y'all money. We good. You don't got to do that.
Send that dollar. Send it.
We don't need money made from black bodies.
We don't care where you made it. Send that dollar.
Actually, Brother Legend, I have a question, but I don't want to like derail the live because it's about something like much different. Like, should I DM you about it?
Is it a personal question? What kind of question is it?
I mean, like, kind of personal, but it's like not really personal. Like, I just don't want to derail the live. I was just gonna ask, like, if you would mind like helping me boost my crowdfunding. I'm trying to get funds for a wheelchair, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wait, you need funds for you or somebody else?
For me, I need a wheelchair.
Okay. Could you inbox me?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's the one you gotta talk to.
Got you.
Well, it's that you should. There's certain things that should be available to her. I mean, that to him. Sorry.
You tried, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, because whatchamacallit, I used to have a wheelchair back in the day.
Look,
I think
hold
it
on.
has.
What's wild is I just came across a chair. No joke. Let me see where it's at. Hold on. Go ahead, Timothy. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was about to say like, my oh, thank you for the gifts, Queen. Yeah, no, like if I didn't have that house fire a while back ago, then that chair would have been yours. But yeah, that thing is long gone. I'm sorry.
I'll really appreciate it because I'll take anything, while I at least wait to get funds for this one. Because the one I'm trying to buy is a reclining wheelchair for my back, but I will use anything in the meantime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like it actually was a reclining wheelchair. Like I cancer survivor, so like I had like a major surgery on my hip, and yeah, so for a time they were like, all right, Tim, the only way you can move around is in this like wheelchair, basically where you're just like laying on a flat bed the whole time. So yeah, that was interesting trying to
Okay.
scoot my way
So
to Times Square.
I found a few of them. Not being funny. Can you send me your zip? Just so I can get an idea where you are, and if it'd be cheaper for us to just get that one, or go on Marketplace, and look on there in your area, because there's some that are extremely cheap that people are trying to get rid of. Not to say that we still could not crowdfund for that price.
Of course.
But yeah, look on there.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot longer.
I was thinking if push come to shove, I would get it shipped to you, but it'd be cheaper for you to find one where you're at.
Yeah.
And do it that way with the funds. But either way.
Well, if you wanted to do that, yeah, we could do that in a way that at least it'd be tax deductible, if you know what I'm saying. D.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, yeah, I really appreciate anything that, any help that, y'all can give me, like, for real. So I'll definitely look into
You could have messaged us for this. You could just make sure we got you. Just make sure make sure you
Yeah,
talk
I
to
just
D.
didn't know if y'all be answering your DMs because I know a lot of people be getting in there.
Nah, Discord is like my cell phone. That's the thing. Like,
I just got on Discord, so I should probably join your server.
yeah, join the Discord, and then if you add me, I check that every day faithfully. Like, that's really where my people is at. That's like a safe space of Garveyites. Like,
You're right.
I found quite a few of them. I'm gonna do some little searching for that zip and see if it's easier for someone in your area, just as like we can do like the crowdfund or like Brother Led said, like write off. But either way, I found some that were like insanely cheap and they look brand new.
yeah. Nah, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would much rather.
You know what? Freeze pause. I saw one. I knew I had just recently saw one. I'm gonna go buy that Goodwill tomorrow, and I bet you that chair ain't gonna be more than $10, $15. And if
Just
it's
make sure
$10,
it's
$15,
straight.
I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my width for it is 20. It's 22 inches wide, and then I think 20 inches up should be good for me. And most wheelchairs are about 20 inches. So
Could you make sure you DM that to us
yes,
so we don't
absolutely. Let
forget
me do
that?
that right now. Let me do that now. I really appreciate it, y'all.
That's not. Yeah, that's what B1 Initiative is for. So you know,
Look at somebody in Cali, they got one for free.
yeah, we
Don't
got
play
a
with us, because
community
I'll
of
be like, well, how
people.
much it costs to ship? Don't play with us.
We got financial literacy courses in there too for people. Yeah, it's a class that is taught weekly. If you want to learn some more about how to be uh, more financially literate, understanding where to put your money, how to save your money, how to plan your taxes, things like that. Um, we got that. We're working on ways to help brothers and sisters get employed. You can't teach people about themselves and they ain't got nothing to eat. So we want to start doing stuff like that as we continue to build Sankofapedia. So the point of B1 Initiative is to be a community of people that agree at least that we African. People that agree at least on the basic things, that we can come together and help each other. So
Absolutely, and I'll definitely.
What state you in, Free?
Me, Texas. I hate it
Oh,
here.
shut up. Okay. You should. Oh, she told me that. Wait, where in
Uh-huh.
Texas? Where?
San Antonio.
I would drive it to you. Get the fuck.
What? Wait,
No, if I go and that chair's there tomorrow, I'm just gonna drive it to you.
Oh my
I'm gonna,
god. Only if do you want me to pay for gas at least? Are you sure?
be everywhere. Like, y'all don't understand. When I say I be driving, I be driving. Listen, last year, was it last year? Year before last year, there was a person that was on Clubhouse, and everybody was on Clubhouse, and we was all talking. And this person didn't have nothing to eat for Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving Day. Y'all, I had cooked and already delivered my plates to people. I drove to San Antonio and dropped them off like a whole bunch of food. He was so happy. Like, he have nobody down there. He was like down there for a job, and all his family was somewhere else.
Aw.
Yeah, like San Antonio ain't nowhere.
Oh, well, if that's the case, if it's not going to be too much, and again, I will always pay for gas money. I have a little extra for gas money right now. So if you need that, I got you. But yeah, if you want to come on down, come on down. And if you don't want to like drive back immediately, I have an air mattress and like
Listen,
it's
I'll be on
cozy
the
and
road
mattress.
all the time. Inbox me your phone number. So I'm gonna go. If it's there tomorrow, I'm just gonna drive up there in the morning. Damn, I got a morning client. Well, no, after my morning client, I'll drive over there. And if it's there, I'm just gonna like send you some pictures. And if you approve of it, I'm just gonna get it.
Okay, bet, because that'll be perfect. And I can send you the money for that too, if you want, like, pay it back.
Calm down. Send me the phone number.
Okay.
D, I wanted to
You're not getting
know
none of my
if
food.
I'm about to say, D, do you drive to New York or what's going on?
Really, New York?
It's not that far.
Okay, well, maybe one day we could try it.
Real quick, family. And whatchamacallit? Dodoma, is it cool if I talk about your about what we were having a conversation about through the DMs? Just let me know if yes or no is
Ted, you know I'm gonna cook you a whole meal. Michelle's gonna be mad, but I got you.
my wife coming home. I gotta look out the front door and make sure she ain't get put in somebody's back pocket.
Why do people think I can't cook? Y'all have no idea. I had a real old school grandma. Like, my grandma was a cook. She stayed in the kitchen.
I'm not quick to assume any sister from the South can't cook. That's a wild assumption. Like that's a wild line of reasoning.
While you trying to be funny, Big Mac, I've been thinking about food for a while, and I was thinking about different soups and freeze dried foods, and I was thinking about how I could freeze some food and ship it. Don't play with me.
Yeah, 100%. I've been to Texas one time. I kind of am sad. Well, no, I've been to Texas twice. Wow, I forgot. How did I forget that second time? Okay. Oh, I
Okay.
spent the weekend there.
Who's
That's
gonna make
why.
me promote myself real quick? So if you guys are interested, message me if you would like a sample of products. I'm about to move, so I don't have a lot of sampling available. But if you want to order something, go on www.skinexco.com. But if you want samples, just message me. I'll just charge you what the shipping is, but I do send out samples for people to try product. What did you say, Timothy?
I was saying that whatchamacallit. Yeah, reason number, like I was typing in the chat, reason number 437 to visit or go back to Texas. I'm trying to get some of them
Timothy,
plates.
you not
Plates.
eating at my house. I got a dog bowl for you.
All right, hey, listen, I'm about to. All right. If you hear random doorbell knock out of nowhere, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna have my plate and fork
If you can
ready.
find me, you deserve a free plate.
Really, you gonna make me do all that? Okay, I see how it is, D. You're just gonna completely ostracize me away from the plates. I see.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to go up to this place and see if they got this chair. I really hope they got it. You can put me on a mission tomorrow.
But you go ignore my request for food. All right. I see how it is. The disrespect, my heart, my stomach.
Nobody got time to play with you, boy.
I kind of do assume. I would assume Timothy can't cook. Timothy, are you a good cook?
Not cook.
Yeah.
Bread.
All right.
Recipes that you should try. You ever tried making a pasta sauce? It's real easy.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, y'all. Like, I actually know how to. Listen, y'all. Like, every single time my mom was in the kitchen, I was right there behind her. So family recipes fully ingrained in me. My mom's potato salad. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now,
See, I make
y'all can't touch
salad at the outings. Oh no, that's me.
that.
See, if
Yeah,
you like,
baked fish, fried chicken. I dabble with my own little seasonings with that. Barbecue. I dabble it up with pastas, different kinds of spaghettis, different kinds of. I usually try to stick more so with the healthier stuff: salads, fried okra. Sometimes I'll do fried okra, or I'll do like whatchamacallit. I'll do like a okra kind of stew along with it. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about how to make okra gumbo, because that, oh my gosh, every time it hits every time. So that's, I'm gonna need to double check with my Nigerian peoples about that one. But yeah, I be throwing down. I ain't no square when it comes to the kitchen.
Don't be sending him no dang on.
I was gonna say, when it comes to soul food, I got you. We from Mississippi, Huh?
We want to see. I'm ready for you.
You ready? Yeah, I'm telling you, if you want some good soul food, I got you on the greens. I got you on the yams. I got you all. I don't have you on the okra. I do not like okra. No, I do not know how to make okra. Okay, but apparently Tim is gonna bring the okra. So
That's right.
everything
And the
else
mac and
will
cheese if
be.
y'all need to.
So
No, I got the mac.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy ain't gonna mess up our dinner.
Timothy half Jewish. He be eating
He
jerk
is not
matzah.
gonna mess up our dinner.
He be eating jerk matzah and jerk latkes.
Yeah, I told y'all that I had like a small percentage. My family ain't
Which
even
one of y'all
practiced
got
that
the
shit.
echo?
Hey, yo.
It's me. I'ma just drop. I don't know why I have an
Pull your
echo.
speaker down, Kit Kat, and see if that works.
I did. Hold on.
Turn your Bluetooth on and off.
How y'all throw me under the bus like that? That's horrible.
Timothy, I can look at you and tell you can't cook.
Oh,
I mean, you don't.
listen, you'd be lying to yourself because I know what I'm doing.
Timothy,
So,
I wouldn't trust you in the kitchen to save my life.
all right, ask me a dish to make. Tell me how to
I
tell.
would never
Tell me
ask
a
you to
dish.
cook nothing.
No. Tell me a dish, and I'll tell you exactly what I would do to
I
make
will
it.
not let you. Huh? What happened?
I said, give me a dish. of vodka.
Well, free. I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust Timothy
Hold
half
on.
of Kennedy at all.
You would wait, free. What? I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Said, give me a dish.
Any
I
dish
said
you can
penne
take it.
alla vodka. Go.
Your pen. Wait, you said penne alla vodka.
Penne alla vodka.
Yeah,
Penne
that's
alla?
what she said.
Oh.
But is my echo gone or no?
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Taking
I
them
usually I don't really make penne alla vodka. That's the one that I need to learn a little bit more on. But yeah, like Alfredo, I got you on
Sir,
that.
please. We don't need you burning our food. I told you we don't need you standing in your half of Kennedy. We know. We know. We know you don't wash the chicken.
You gonna stop coming at
We
me,
know you
Miss?
don't use no seasoning. You
All
half
right,
of something.
you ain't gonna be coming at me, Miss Stubby Toes. You got whatchamacallits.
Look how they
The
put
Vienna
on your
sausage.
toes. Look at
You got Vienna
That's
sausage toes.
crazy.
You better calm down before I throw those things on the skillet. But listen.
what? See now you act like your ancestors.
Oh shit, that's damn. All right. Well, anyway, the food that I know how to prepare, it'd be fire, y'all. It'd be
Half of Kennedy, I told y'all.
damn.
So quick. Went from hee hee ha ha to full out war in like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. Listen, when it comes down to food, oh yep, full fledged.
Because about my cooking. I'm a baby, so like I'm still learning all the soul food classics. But I grew up in New York, and I feel like any black person born in New York is automatically Afro-Italian. So like any pasta dish, I can make you baked ziti, I can make you lasagna, I can make you penne alla vodka, whatever Italian dish your heart desires. I can make it, and I can make it from scratch.
Hey, there you go. It's pretty dope.
Please don't make
Yeah.
Timothy nothing because you're gonna make him think he full after Kennedy, and he just threatened to put our he's
Not
he
Threat?
was a cannibalist.
leniency.
He was
I said
standing
your
on the
toes.
side of his father just a minute ago.
I said your toes look like Vienna sausages. Don't try to negate the fact that your toes be stubby. Don't try to sidestep that conversation. Okay. Listen, don't.
How
Nah.
do people remember your toes? Like that was 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like, that's really all I got. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not good at comebacks, but
Yeah, I don't know. You can't stand 10 toes in your Afro Kennedy if you,
yeah,
you don't know how to do what they call it in Africa, brother. We call it dozens. What they call it in Africa? Josting.
Justin. Yep, I gotta get my skills up.
I don't know why she acting like that. Yeah, Gus is a jerk, man. But
Is that I stand 10 toes in my Afro Kennedy. My culture is rich, and Timothy still can't cook.
All right, all right.
to find out, Timothy, man, you gotta defend your honor, man.
Man, listen, I'm about to send y'all some pictures because y'all ain't about to play me like this.
Let us poison us.
Nope, ain't no poison over here. Y'all about to get some fresh seasoning.
Y'all make sure y'all don't request nothing that's chicken, because you know you don't watch it.
Y'all bagels be nice though.
Not the bagels.
Bagels are fire.
Yeah.
I had a smoked salmon bagel one time. Woo.
Yeah.
I'm on
I don't make bagels. Nah. But definitely you give me some catfish and fry that up with some cucumber salad. My mom,
Look at you. You
that
already
was the
started
one
off
thing that
wrong.
was like the number one dish we always used to make. Fried catfish, cucumber salad. We would have boiled potatoes. That was a thing. We would just throw some like salt, pepper, butter, maybe some little bit of paprika. But if you take some tahini seasoning and put it on top of that, that actually tastes pretty decent.
That's not a thing.
What happened?
Who enjoy eating that?
Yeah. Don't sleep on
Fried
catfish now.
catfish? Yeah, don't sleep on fried.
Hold on, wait, freeze. I am talking about the boiled potato.
The boiled potato? Nah, because like the way that you have to season it up, you have to like, of course, the butter, the salt, pepper, depending on what other stuff you want to add too. You can add garlic powder.
It was a potato boil, not a seafood
boil. Or if you want to do something more so for like, well, I mean, if you want to like chop them up and like throw a little oil bottom of the pan, chop up
Most people make
some
fries.
vegetables. What'd you say?
Most people make fries.
Yeah, of
Hello,
course.
person up at the top. Can you get
Five
your
G's though.
age, race, and pronoun?
Hello.
Hello. Can we get your age, race, and pronoun?
My age is 25. My race is black, and my pronoun is Lord.
What?
But I
Know that.
prefer he to be of culture. So he, I am a him.
Okay. Go ahead. What brings you up?
All right. So I see. We're asking if we're all black people are African. Now, if we're talking geographically, yes. Now, are interracial relationships hostile? They are not hostile. Are pro-black or let me see what can you ask the last one for me? Are pro-black or
Are
anti-racist?
you pro-black or are you anti-racist?
I'm anti-racist and I'm pro-black. I cannot be both. Can I? Can I not be right there? Or
What? Why? How? Okay. Why would you want to be both?
and because I'm against racism, and I'm also pro-black because I'm pro-melanin. Let me correct myself. I'm pro-melanin.
You
I don't
seem
like to
so
say pro-black.
confused.
But I'm
Melos,
kind of
the root
confused as
word
to
of
why I
melanin.
can't be
Hold
both.
on.
Yes.
Melos is the root word of melanin. Melos in Greek means black or dark. So when you say melanated as opposed to black, you're kind of saying the same thing.
Okay. Now, if you would like to literaturally state that, you could, but I'm not using it in that context. It's the same as if I'm saying the word black in a like what's it called? Let me see. Negro, black, uh two different meanings when it comes to hey, what race are you? Black. If someone says black, if somebody in Spanish says negro, they're just referring to the color that's actually black.
But
Because as far as I'm concerned,
they're also
yeah.
acknowledging black oppression instead of trying to find a way around acknowledgement.
Now I'm not gonna just do stripes here. I don't know what you guys have done on your time, if you guys have just been online, but I've been out there on foot. I've been out there. I'm not gonna go my history, but I have very much all right to state the thought process and the characteristics here. Now you want to state the negatives in my statements. Now, if you want to say to me that you have something to teach me or inform me, because I haven't heard you the first, you're not the first person to say that to me, and I've actually had to go backward and forth with the last person and state, listen, I can write this down in my book. I have this in my book. I've learned this already. But when it comes to what you're directing in regards to meaning, then it doesn't have to be used as that. For instance, I can call a white man white I want, but realistically, that's a pink man to me. Uh, Caucasian isn't even. I don't even know why they have the Caucasian in their term. They're not Caucasian. If you know who the real Caucasians are, then you know that that is also of Mellows.
Who are the
It's
real Caucasians?
the real Caucasian. That is actually from the Western side. That was that. Hey, calm down. I'm talking, kiddo. All right, yes, that's more of the Western side. Right now, I can't give you full off which country in the West,
Okay.
but those were the actual true Caucasians. They were not white people, but that's just another term that was also taken and stolen. But that's for another history story. For that time. But yeah, like I was saying, I am pro-black and anti-racist because I don't like racist people or racist acts or any prejudice acts, and I'm pro-black because I support my people. Now, I don't say pro-black. First of all, I don't even like saying Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter to me is the statement is it's like a fresh version of saying nigga to nigger. I don't know. Can I say that?
Well,
Hold up. My
please
bad.
don't say that,
My
man.
bad.
Come
My
on,
bad.
man.
I'm so
Nah,
sorry.
you
I
know
didn't
better
know
than
if I could
that.
say that.
This
You gotta
whole
come
time
back
you've
up.
been saying problematic words. Like this
You gotta
whole
come
time.
back. You gotta come back. You can't say that, man. Come on, that's wild, bro. I mean, I wouldn't even feel comfortable using that word. in this context. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Is it my turn to hold you by the hand?
Okay, so now that I know it, I'm fresh, by the way. I'm so sorry. I'm new to this. Um, so yes, it's the phrase to er to ah, and Black Lives Matter is like another term of endearment, but that's not even something that we actually we're hearing it just because we are allegedly
Black
to
Lives Matter is the anti-racist like stance. Like that's the side. That's the stance you aligned with.
that's not the stance that I align with. Now let's say if you're
You
somebody,
said
right?
anti-racist. That's what you said.
Okay, so that's just because if I take
Black
that
Lives
word right
Matter
there.
is anti-racist because pro-blackness is prioritizing one's actions and values with what's in the best interest of building within the black community. Anti-racism is acting against the idea and dismantling systemic racism, oppression, you know, the 10 areas of people activity, all that other stuff. So if you're going to say Black Lives Matter, to what end? The reason you're saying that is because you're talking to people who don't think Black Lives Matter, which means this is an anti-racist argument we're having. You know what I'm saying?
But I just said that I don't like Black Lives. I'm not Black Lives Matter. I'm not pro Black Lives Matter. Like
But you said
even
it was an anti-racist. So I'm saying, is this the example you want to use? Because they're the anti-racist. Like you said, you were on this side. So what would you align yourself with ideologically?
now, let me see. What's the right term? All right, in literature, the word anti, which would be the opposite or against the word racist, which does. Let me see. I'm just gonna go off my own definition, but of the same definition. Yes, which does consist of racism. Now, if there's a group of let's say you don't like, let's say you don't like pedos, I don't like pedos, and there's a group of people that don't like them, but their group is called gotcha or something like that. And now we're like, oh, me and you were like, yeah, we like what the gotchas are thinking. And next thing you know, a gotchas now they not just don't like pedos, now they don't like pedos, but they what's it called? They like a bunch of
He trying to get me taken down.
Yeah, man, your words is off.
Yeah, because he's been up here since 2022. You need to block him. I think. I think that someone needs to block him because like he's trying to get the live shut down.
Be your own. Don't try to come for Malcolm X.
Yeah, for real. Using terms that just like Malcolm X himself was just like, no, you're not supposed to associate with certain things, and he's just like, well, let me just use everything that.
Hold on, let me not bring up Malcolm X because that's a signal for Creed.
Oh God, you about to send out a signal flare.
I ain't never seen nobody use Malcolm X for every example, for every reasoning. Tia was like, "Oh, let that man rest." That's his talking point for everything.
Yeah, I showed him that video clip of Malcolm X saying that we were African like 5 times because he kept on trying to like revert back into, well, we not really African because Malcolm X was, and then I showed him the clip again, and then we sat through it, watched it, and then he started to try to use the same talking point again and again. So I played it for him like 2 more times, and yeah, after that point, it was just like, all right, bro, like what?
Bro,
Like, what
can
do
you put your sticker up with
you
Bring Down Babylon? All right. Y'all know what we gonna do every live? We got a goal to hit. We got some things to do. In the chat, if y'all are familiar with the project that brother is working on, Sankopedia, if you're familiar with it, put the fire flames. If you know what's going on with Sankopedia, put the fire flames. Let's see. I want to see something. Not you, Timothy. You always want to be included. That's the white in you.
Listen, I be trying to fight it.
The overseer.
They're coming out sometimes. Golly gee willikers, guys.
I must say, it's not a lot of y'all putting flames. So maybe it's time for us to do a little bit of enlightenment.
Please do.
See, Free even want to know.
Yeah. Because I heard about it, but I haven't checked it out myself yet.
So y'all heard of his story?
Yeah, fuck his
Time
story.
for our story.
Is it like a website, or are we talking about like a phrase? I'm too autistic for this.
Well, no. You're not too autistic for anything. We talk about where you can go and get the side of African people telling their history, telling their story. Don't y'all want to give y'all children opportunity to see their real history from the real African side? Not somebody YT going and reading and they think this is what we felt. They think this is what we thought. But you're getting an actual perception from the Black people, the Black voice. They're giving you a chance to be vocal about your community. I think that's something that we never get to see, is that our voices are actually being risen. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, risen. Judge me not. About our issues, about our community, about our history, about the facts of us. I think that I'm going to challenge y'all. Everybody that's in the live, donate $1.50. Can you spare $1.50? Bring down Babylon. We need $1.50. The Cash App is at the top. Now that sounds like a little bit of nothing, but $1.50 goes a long way against 90 people. Can you spare $1.50? We're trying to build something, and let's just say Brother Legend's going around firewalls. You got people that are trying to hack, trying to figure out how to break through. Protection ain't cheap. Building a site where people can't keep taking you down, affecting what you're building. And y'all know this is modern day Tulsa, what he's building. This is modern day Oakville. This is modern day what's under Lake Lanier. This is what's happening. And you got people that are trying to come, and they have no reason. It's not like it's hurting nobody.
Oh, you lost him. D, we can't hear you.
Amber Alert. It was Amber Alert. But we need y'all to help us build. Come be a part of the family. We trying to bridge back our people, y'all. We got to build. We got to support. And we can't wait for other people to help us. We can't wait for other people to fix us. And we surely hell can't keep letting other people speak for us and give the voice to the future children. Like, what are you leaving behind? What are you leaving behind? You got to think about that every time you see Black people trying to build something. What's going to be there for your great-grandkids? Some of y'all don't think beyond yourselves. Some of y'all don't think beyond your own children. But what are you leaving behind that your kids are going to see? What's something you're going to say, I helped build this? $1.50 a day. You got to donate. Let me stop. In the arms of the children.
For just 5 today.
Judge me not. That's my new word. But no, I'm serious. I'm being really serious. If you can't donate your time, go on b1initiative.org. Is it B1 that they can subscribe?
Yeah.
And
yeah, you can subscribe to the newsletter there.
Yeah, subscribe to the newsletter. Make your monthly donation. $5, $10, $10,000. But if you're not doing something and you got a little time to spare, come help us build. But if you don't have the time and you got some change, donate. But today we're asking for $1.50 in the arms of the children. I gotta go download that song so whenever I do my little slow walk, I can, Yes, we do. Big Mac, yes, teed up. We want more people. We need all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
For sure.
You want our family to be in the millions.
Absolutely. Did you get that email, D?
Wait, let me go check. Hold on. Put them
All
up
right.
there, Tita.
But yeah, that Sankophobia gets really in depth. Those of y'all that want to join, b1initiative.org, you can join our Discord. We give updates there too. We have meetings every week, and we kind of watch lectures together. Today we watched Dr. Amos Wilson speak. I think it was one of our most eye-opening videos for some people. That I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with Dr. Amos Wilson. His book, The Blueprint to Black Power, is like a must-read for all people of African descent. And if you need help finding that book, or you know, if money is an obstacle, we can get that to you for free. So let us know about that too. Like we have resources available, so we can help y'all get some literature, man. Whatever y'all trying to read. So join b1initiative.org. It's a resource center for things like that. Oh, he got the book right here. So yeah, Blueprint for Black Power, Dr. Amos Wilson.
It's a thick read, y'all, but this.
I gotta reset this password, but I did get it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, fire. Yeah, Blueprint for Black Power just outlines the blueprint of literally like based off empirical data and what our people have tried in the past and didn't work. Like he's just breaking down what we need to do. Like basically he lets us know in the book like everything that needs to happen pretty much. And he's predicted things. We was watching in the lecture. He's actually predicted things that going on right now. With the boycott of Eben, for I think that's the name, Eben, for hair. It's not right that a product that's used to humanize someone in the eyes of world like in the eyes of people that deem her as hostile in her natural hair, like in order to buy hair to make yourself more professional in a certain work setting, or like the rules on black women's hair, like in order to uh, alleviate yourself of ridicule and other things, you have to buy hair from someone outside of your community. Like this is something that he talked about in the 90s, and we're literally protesting it now. So, but yeah,
Timothy, really? I was gonna say, I don't know how familiar. Well, I'm on my business for a minute. Hold on, because that book Timothy just put up. How much is that book? I think it's like $15.
Oh no, it's like well, the place that I got it from priced it up
36
a little bit.
or 40.
Yeah, it was like 50.
Like I always buy books. I think they like 40, something like that. 36, something like that.
Yeah. If you get the used ones, definitely.
My brother say,
Yeah. I was for the life of me, I was trying to find the free PDF for it, but of course, obviously, they don't have this one out there freely available. But that's always been one of the things that I do want to do eventually with
We're
Black
not gonna
Facts
talk
Man.
about you. We're not helping you no
I
more.
want to get about maybe like eventually I want to get as many copies of this book and have it like mass distributed to as many communities as we could possibly get it to within the African family, because I've listened to the brothers' lectures. I've read like the first couple of chapters of this book. Very good.
what do you think of the top 3 books every African man, woman, and child should read?
Ooh, pre-colonial Black Africa. Definitely, it's important to learn our history, y'all. Let's see. And I would say Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy.
And the third one would be, just based off of Dr. Amos Wilson's lectures, based off of everything that he's been talking about. Definitely Blueprint for Black Power. Yeah, because I listened to his lecture about the book. I read the first couple of chapters, so it's yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's got multiple lectures on it. Like he
What
gets
was the
pretty
second
thorough.
book y'all said? The second book?
Oh, the second book was Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy.
Yeah.
Also, Dr. Amos Wilson does have a book that I haven't gotten into yet. The Psychology of Self-Hatred and Self-Defeat. Yeah. Yep. So I have to definitely tap in with that one as well. But he wrote like over 10 different books, y'all. And every single one of them, obviously, based off of, anytime that, anybody listening in, I would highly recommend take the time to go check out Dr. Amos Wilson. I'll type his name in the chat thingy so that way you can look it up. But check out his lectures. They are freely available on YouTube. You will definitely find like a lot of little tidbits and people who have like done his book reviews and his lectures. He passed away, I think, in 95 or 96.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that brother knew his stuff.
Michelle's recommending The Wretches of the Earth. She said that's a good read, and she get on my nerves. She knows she can't cook.
Oh, France Fanon. Yeah, yeah, that's I gotta do more reading into him, but I was warned about him by someone that saw, like, I don't know. We could talk about that another time, but I gotta that's a good reference. I'm gonna dive into him.
I ain't gonna hold you. Timothy was supposed to be working on a particular project that would very much pair with everything that we have going on. I'm gonna need him to get himself together. If anyone in this room, make sure y'all send that $1.50. I know y'all got $1.50 because some of y'all was in the club and y'all was drinking them $10 drinks. So I know you helpers can sacrifice $1.50 tonight. Send that $1.50.
He got me all that.
Cause I know what they was doing yesterday. While I was working, they was twerking. So Timothy, we told him he needs to do it's a book box. If y'all would be interested in a book box, the box it has in it a book, a t-shirt, and a few little knickknacks or whatnot that focuses on Black boys and Black men. If you would be interested in that, drop some flames in the chat. If you would buy that, drop some flames in the chat. This is about your Black sons, preparing them for the future. If you would be interested in that, drop a flame in the chat. Oh, I guess they don't like it. Never mind.
Ooh, disrespect. But nah, definitely. I've been doing fundraising ever since like on the live. But then they, banated me for that type of speech.
Well,
And
there they go. There they go.
there we go. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, yo. Absolutely. Yeah. So very close to the goal. So I'm probably gonna
Oh, that's what it was, Timothy. Sorry. It would be a book. It would be the monthly read so it's gonna be a book. It'll be a journal in which they will be notated, a pen, and possibly I think a t-shirt, right?
Yeah, well, I still have to double check with
That's what I said. Boy, bye. Anyway, so yes, it's an awesome box that you can buy
First
for
off,
your
you're gonna let me
nephew,
explain. You're
your
not gonna hijack
son,
my
everybody.
Yeah, but yep, definitely tap in, y'all.
Who you send that $1.50 today?
Yep.
While I was working, you was twerking. You can afford $1.50. Right at the top, bring down Babylon. I need y'all to tune in, turn up, and donate your dollar. If you sent the $1.50, put in the chat, sent. Michelle has sent her $1.50. If you sent the $1.50, put in the chat, sent. I need to know that you're here. 103 of y'all are here. I need you to send $1.50. Up, there go $2.50. Okay, keep it going, y'all. We at $3. Come on. Oh, wait. Subscription sent. Let's go. Let's go. Now, Laura, let's go. Keep going.
Mhm.
I need to see y'all get active in this chat and get active in participating. If you support brother, if you want to see this vision follow through, we need to see y'all. Make sure y'all send some donations. I'm telling you, I'm asking for $1.50. It ain't much. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $50, 20, 20,000, 30, 40, 50,000. Send $1.50. Well, listen, I'm not. I listen. If you in a bad situation, baby, I am not talking about you. Cause I pray that everybody be liberated. It's hard out here for a pimp, especially. I'm tired of having to get these girls on the stroll, but I'm just asking for $1.50 for those that actually could contribute without it hurting their pockets.
Yeah, for real. Appreciate you, D. American Micro, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. Last time I saw you, you were like in this struggle with this young lady. I don't know what, because
Oh,
I didn't. Yeah, I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna get on that panel. I don't think I'm gonna do that. But no,
yeah.
everything's good, man. I've been on some of Timothy's lives. We've had to like knock some motherfuckers out. Just
Yep.
saying. Um, but no, everything's good, man. Just fighting the fight, just podcasting about what's real and what isn't. And, I mean, we all know what's up. So, it's just a matter of doing something about it. I just, I would hope that our brothers and sisters on TikTok, I believe, or I hope somehow, and it would be a really amazing thing if I could just see more continuity on these black panels. We argue among each other too much, man. We're yelling at each other all the time, and it's heartbreaking, But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Got to do it. Got to figure it out because all we have is each other, man. At this point, you
Yeah.
know, it's
One of the main things is it is disheartening. It's not fun to witness, but at the same time, what I pay attention to is I pay attention to the what I pay attention to the history of where we've been before. So
yeah,
when I'm
no,
walking down the street, I pay attention to the fact, and I see a brother. If I see a brother that's struggling, or if I see a sister that's struggling with, having a home or not, I'm not seeing a struggling brother without a home or a struggling sister without a home. Like I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that in 2000 BCE, she would have been considered a high priestess, walking amongst adorned with copper and gold and emeralds and would have been draped in silk. I'm seeing that. That's what I'm seeing every single time I walk up and down that street. Every time that I bump into family like around and about the African family, I'm not
uh-huh.
seeing I'm not seeing the current state in which they have forced us to be in. I'm paying attention to the fact that, hey, this literally could have been high counsel to Mansa Musa. Like this could have been one of like Queen Amanirena's generals. This could have been Queen Nzinga's like military campaign or campaign leader. Like this, like that's who I'm seeing when I'm seeing my people. So even when I see them arguing and we see us like out here trying to engage in those diaspora wars, it's just like, all right, that's fine. It's just the system is designed specifically to keep us in a state of mind where we are perpetuating the European nonsense. So
No, I agree 100%. But I when I look at the brothers and sisters from 1966, 67, 68, who were fighting the fight um, they had a cause, right? And we still have that cause, of course, but somehow we need to rekindle and everything takes time because each era is different than the next, right? I mean, we could just go into that history alone. It would take 2 weeks to talk about, right? From, the 64, 65 civil rights movement to now, right? Richard Nixon, Lee Atwater, all that Reagan, all that stuff, right? But yeah, they've done a number. They've done a number on making sure that we were chasing the goal posts, so to speak. So, one day, I might not be here, but one day it's going to happen. As my mother once eloquently said, the last shall be first. And over the last 400 or 500 years, we've been in a situation where, we've been resilient as hell, but yeah, I'm still, I'm still pushing. So
You
all is
sound
good.
like you know something we don't know.
No, you know what? I wrote this song, and the lyrics are, it's been a long time since I felt the hand of love and heard the voice of God in this time and space. So what I feel must be real, and nothing can take its place. Even in the darkest days, I feel this light upon my face. The shadows of the moon speak to heaven's grace. Now the time has come for brothers and sisters to walk arm in arm. Now the time has come for brothers and sisters to carry on. So it's a beautiful song. And that's where my heart is. I know that that the universe has us, in a place where, we're probably where we need to be to really try and understand who we are as Black people in this, not only in this country, but on this planet, in this galaxy, and everything takes time, and I mean, literally, I'm going to be 65 in frickin' June. I can't believe that. You know what I mean? So
It's a
when,
milestone for a Black man.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. I've grown up. I've watched and witnessed all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be, how can I say, the person that I am today if it wasn't for my mom and dad who were in that struggle, my aunts and my uncles who were in that struggle, all of my friends whose parents whom I grew up with, understanding that at the age of 8 years old, I had a mission, even as an 8-year-old, you know what I mean, to defend myself as the oldest of 4 boys in my family in 1965, 66, 67, 68, when all of the, unaliving was going on. Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You could even throw the Kennedys in there if you want, and Kent State, all that stuff. Vietnam, the average age of the fighting man in Vietnam was 19. This is who we are as Black people, and we can't forget that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, if I'm still here and I'm alive, going on 65, all the stuff that happened was real. It was real. It happened. There's nothing anecdotal about anything, about separate but equal, about anything that came before yesterday, and anything that will come after tomorrow. It's all real. It's all real. And, we just have to strive to be the best community and love each other and really, 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 really care about each other. You know, I mean, it's a hard thing to do sometimes, but dude, we got to do it. So I'll land my plane there.
All right. I ain't mad at you on. That's facts.
Like I'll say that you know, like part of the reason why I'm sick is because I was, around someone who was sick, a brother, and he was asking me for food. So I got him some food. And I don't regret that. I don't regret that at all. Like I got a little bit of sniffles, like, I got a throat sore, but I don't regret doing that at all in any way, shape, or form because I made sure that that brother ate today. And that's it. That's it. Like that's the level. Beyond that level of commitment is how we have to get ourselves psychologically back to, like, Ubuntu, just unapologetically serving the community as a whole. And how I've been able to been more appreciative and like seeing things for how they could be rather than seeing things for what they are is the more and more that I learn about the history of how all this stuff came to be, and especially the more and more that I'm tapping into ancient African history, that's the part where it instills more and more pride and more feeling of uplifting. And so you start to see things like every time that I step outside, there's literally murals that are around the neighborhood. So I'll see things that are directly tied to ancient African history, and
What is
that definitely
TND?
does contribute.
Hello.
Absolutely. Like,
What's going
if
on?
I,
What is that?
what is what?
Is what
TND.
I have no idea.
Bro,
it's
it's like
probably a YT supremacist.
that's the
Yeah,
14th.
yep. That's the YT.
It made them come in here.
It means total nigger death.
Okay.
No.
Yep, got blocked.
All right. All right.
Time to
All right.
block.
Let's go down. Let's go down.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah. All right, let's get
somebody about to just. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Black Power.